Douluo Dalu. Life or Death Pact. It begins with a forced kiss to Qian Renxue. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyright or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 76. Chu Ye breaks through level 40. Tangsan leaves the novice village. Yu Xiaogang is very excited. It's a gun, and likes it very much and fiddled with the silver dragon gun in her hand, very happy. Chu Ye thought, "Your artifact, you must like it. Now put your hands on the soul ball and measure the soul power." Chu Ye said. Okay. Nodded and did as she was told. When her hands were placed on the soul ball, a strong white light flashed instantly, and it was filled up on the spot. Innate soul power level 20. Chu Ye and Qian Renxue blurted out almost at the same time. Both of them were very surprised. Qian Renxue was the most surprised. Oh my god. Chu Ye's innate soul power is actually level 20, just like me. Chu Ye thought about it and it made sense. It was different from ordinary soul beasts. She has an innate soul power of level 20. It's not surprising if you think about it carefully. Fortunately, I prepared a level 20 soul power ball in advance. If it was an ordinary level 10 soul power ball, I'm afraid the soul power ball would have exploded. Chu Ye quickly calmed down. How could a human transformed by the Silver Dragon King with the strength of a God King be compared with an ordinary 100,000-year soul beast? Level 20 is common sense. Brother Chu Ye, sisters Where, is level 20 very powerful? Rust innocently. Very powerful, at least stronger than your brother Chu Ye. Hihi. Qian Renxue covered her mouth and smiled. Hihi. Chu Ye touched his head and smiled awkwardly. Indeed, everyone has a god-level martial soul, but he only has 10 innate soul power, but what can he do? A martial soul granted by God, a martial soul with a god-level Silver Dragon King super artifact, his own god-level martial soul, even if it can compare with their innate soul power. Next, Chu Ye asked to condense the soul ring by herself. It seemed that she knew how to condense without being taught. Soon, 2 soul rings condensed out. The first ring, purple, the second ring, purple, both 1,000-year soul rings. The first soul skill, silver amplification, self-strengthening amplification skill. The second soul skill, silver dragon soul, a long-range attack soul skill, the dragon spear swings out a silver dragon to attack the enemy. Next, Chu Ye and Qian Renxue prepared to test its combat power. After a moment, Qian Renxue was very surprised and said, Chu Ye's power is too terrible. As long as she trains her fighting skills and fighting awareness a little, with her current strength, she may be able to challenge ordinary soul masters. Silver Dragon Spear's potential has not been truly stimulated. If it is the strongest Silver Dragon Spear, with her current soul power, I'm afraid no one below the title Douluo can stop her with one shot. Chu Ye said with a serious face. "'Tis so powerful." Hearing Chu Ye's words, Qian Renxue took a breath of cold air, shocked, and also quite surprised. Chu Ye, then we have picked up a treasure. Treasure? Chu Ye silently glanced at the cute little. In fact, he knew that the little girl in front of him was and also Gyu was just a subsidiary personality of Gyu. Now the state of amnesia is dominated by the subsidiary personality, but once the memory is restored, Gyu will take the lead. In Chu Ye's opinion, and Gyu are both the same person, but not the same person. In the past 6 months, they have built up feelings with. To be honest, he does not hope that Gyu will appear. But it is useless to think more now. Things that come later can only be faced later. Chu Ye stopped thinking about it, touched his head and said, "Remember what Brother Chu Ye told you. You can't let the fourth person know about your self-condensed spirit ring except for the 3 of us. Do you understand?" "Knows, and will never tell anyone else." Promised. Okay. In the next period of time, Chu Ye once again attacked the spirit power and broke through the last 40th level. During this period, the supervisory hall has also been built. Chu Ye and Qian Renxue were also busy with the affairs of the supervisory hall and recruiting spirit masters belonging to the supervisory hall. With the start of the supervisory hall, the effect is remarkable in just a few months. Many pests in the spirit masters of the branch halls across the mainland have been eradicated. There are fewer and fewer spirit masters who misbehave in the branch halls and even oppress the people. The overall security situation in various parts of the mainland has also been significantly improved. The activation of the supervisory hall not only cleared the pests in the spirit hall, but also made the spirit hall more popular under this chain reaction. Even many free spirit masters chose to join the spirit hall. Chu Ye believed that as time went on, when the spirit hall really started a war, the existence of the supervisory hall would have a more significant effect. 4 months later, in the closed training room, a huge amount of soul power began to gather in Chu Ye's body. The next second, bang! The aftermath of the soul power spread from the body. Chu Ye's soul power finally broke through to level 40 at this moment. More than 11 years old, level 40. Finally level 40. Chu Ye smiled faintly. On the other side, Noting City. Tang San, whose spirit had been awakened by Su Yun Tao, arrived at Noting Soul Master Junior College with the work-study student certificate. So far, Tang San's life trajectory has not changed much. After arriving at Noting College, he knocked down the guard who looked down on him, and then met Yu Xiaogan. At this moment, Yu Xiaogan was looking at the proof of Tang San's awakening spirit from the spirit hall, and he was very excited. Full innate spirit power. Blue silver grass. This child is simply the perfect proof of my theory. There are no useless spirits, only useless spirit masters, the best test subject. If I can take this child as my apprentice and teach him, my dignity and reputation destroyed by the damn kid will definitely be restored again. No one can look down on me anymore, and I will even become a truly respected master. He refers to Chu Ye. Yu Xiaogan was so excited that his body was trembling slightly. He could naturally see that Tang San had another powerful spirit. Yu Xiaogan knew that innate spirit power is proportional to the strength of the spirit. Blue silver grass could not have such a high innate spirit power, so he guessed that Tang San had twin spirits. Twin spirits. In the entire continent, Yu Xiaogan knew that there were only 2 such people, one who exploded and died after practicing, and the other who successfully practiced to the title Douluo Dalu. That person was the Pope of the Spirit Hall, Bai Dong. How strong is the advantage of twin martial spirits? Even ordinary spirit masters can think of it. 2 martial spirits can absorb 18 spirit rings. At least 18 spirit skills. As long as the 2 martial spirits can be cultivated in the end, even if Yu Xiaogan did not cultivate Tang San's blue silver grass, even if the blue silver grass is still a waste. As long as Tang San's own strength is strong enough and the other martial spirit is strong enough, even if the blue silver grass is a waste, it will appear on such a strong man. Others will naturally think that the blue silver grass is also very powerful. Then, his theory is confirmed. But Yu Xiaogan's level can't see it all. Tang San's blue silver grass is not an ordinary blue silver grass. It is the blue silver emperor. Even if it is not awakened, it is not comparable to ordinary blue silver grass. Chapter 77 Mission 4 Reward, 1 Thought God and Demon, Light Letter, Dark Letter Form. Child, are you willing to be my disciple? Yu Xiaogan tried his best to control his emotions, but he was not as calm as before. Since the last time Yu Xiaogan was beaten up by Chu Ye, he has lost all his face and suffered countless ridicules. His martial spirit theory is even more despised. He urgently needs a genius like Tang San to save his face. Tang San hesitated for a moment, and finally nodded in agreement and became Yu Xiaogan's disciple. Good boy, good boy. Yu Xiaogan grabbed Tang San's arm with great relief. He led Tang San into the academy, and soon, Yu Xiaogan learned that Tang San's second martial spirit was the Clear Sky Hammer. This made Yu Xiaogan almost crazy with excitement. The Clear Sky Hammer is known as the strongest weapon martial spirit on the continent today. Seeing the appearance of the Clear Sky Hammer, Yu Xiaogan seemed to see hope, saw the hope of revenge when he was bullied by Chu Ye. Yes, since being beaten up by Chu Ye last time, Yu Xiaogan has been holding a grudge and hating Chu Ye. But what can he do about such a genius? Yu Xiaogan can only bow his head and be an honest man, but now he has Tang San. Yu Xiaogan did not show his excitement, but pretended to be so, and said to Tang San, Shao San, when you become a powerful soul master in the future, if there is a chance, I hope you can vent your anger for your teacher. Teacher, what do you say? Tang San was a little confused. I'll tell you about this later. Yu Xiaogan didn't say anything else. He just accepted the apprentice and asked the apprentice to remember to avenge himself in the future. It was too much. Okay. Tang San didn't ask any more questions. On the other side, in the closed training room, a familiar voice sounded in Chu Ye's mind again. It is detected that your soul power has reached level 40, task 4, the conditions have been met, and the rewards are King of Glory Game World, Hero Character, Li Xing, 1 Thought of God and Demon Skin, Hero Power. Introduction to the One Mind God and Demon Hero Power. Awakening the God and Demon Sword, light letter form, possessing the ultimate light attribute. The light letter form's combat power surges, and grants 4 light attribute skills. Brilliant Blade, Light Stab Blade, Swift Slash, Light Wing Continuous Slash. Awakening the God and Demon Sword, dark letter form, possessing the ultimate dark attribute. The dark letter form's combat power surges, and grants 4 dark attribute skills. Violent Blade, Fearless Charge, Brutal Tear, Shadow Burst. Warm reminder. Both forms will grant different emotions, which will affect the host's mind to a certain extent. Will it also affect the mind? Chu Ye muttered in his heart. The process of fusing the God and Demon hero power for a year will be a bit painful. Do you want to fuse it now? Fusion. Chu Ye did not hesitate. The next second, an extremely terrifying energy suddenly rose from his body, and the terrifying energy instantly enveloped the entire closed training room. In his body and in his martial spirit, there seemed to be 2 forces that seemed to tear his skin and flesh apart and rush out, making Chu Ye feel extremely painful. Wow, is this a bit painful? Chu Ye couldn't control the pain and screamed. His whole body was like being burned by flames from time to time, and it was cold to the bone from time to time. It was not something that ordinary people could endure. Switching back and forth between the 2 kinds of pain, he screamed again and again. Soon, the sword of gods and demons automatically rushed out of his body, firmly inserted into the ground, and inserted in front of him. The sword of gods and demons was constantly absorbing the energy emitted from Chu Ye's body, causing the sword of gods and demons to gradually mutate. It evolved. It began to change into other forms, sometimes turning into a lightsaber that exuded extreme light attributes, and sometimes turning into a dark sword that exuded extreme dark attributes. It seemed that light and darkness could not be integrated on the sword of gods and demons. Finally, as the sword of gods and demons shook wildly, it actually transformed the lightsaber and the dark sword at the same time. The 2 lightsabers and dark swords are the 2 evolved forms of the sword of gods and demons, the sword of light and the sword of darkness. During this process, Chu Ye's pain did not decrease at all. The severe pain in his body made his consciousness gradually blurred. My consciousness is about to. The picture in front of him became more and more blurred. Soon, Chu Ye completely lost consciousness, but when he opened his eyes again, he found that the sword of gods and demons was inserted into his body and pierced his abdomen. The surrounding environment has also changed completely, as if he has come to a different space. There is nothing here, it is extremely empty, half of it is endless light, and half of it is endless darkness. Chu Ye lies on the center line at the intersection of light and darkness, unable to move. He can't see anything, only light and darkness, but soon, he found that in the light and darkness on the left and right sides, there seemed to be a shadow each. These 2 shadows are the one thought god and demon, the light letter form and the dark letter form. At this moment, their voices took turns to resound throughout the space, constantly echoing in Chu Ye's mind. Light letter. Heaven and earth are my heart, the sun and the moon are shining again. Dark letter. Heaven and earth are not benevolent, the road has no light. Guangxin. We were born, how can we abandon it? Break the impermanence of fate. Mxin. The sky opens to see the light, blood bleeds, break the impermanence of fate. Guangxin. Where can I find the power to redeem this world? Mxin. Where can I find the power to rebuild this world? Guangxin. My sword and I, cut the underworld. Mxin. My heart is like ice, my sword is like frost. Guangxin. This sword should be used to judge, and the gods should apologize. Mxin. This sword should be used to cut, and the demons should surrender. Guangxin. Mxin. One thought can reach the sky, and the gods and demons are not afraid. If there is a desperate situation, it will be life and death in all directions. Guangxin. I am the sun. Mxin. I am the night. Chu Ye. And the voices of Guangxin and Mxin finally disappeared from his mind, and Chu Ye's body was like a black hole, completely absorbing the surrounding light and darkness into his body. At this moment, there were 2 forms of light and darkness in his body. Chu Ye's consciousness also returned to his body. He woke up from reality and recalled the majestic and emotional voices and lines of light and dark. He felt a little embarrassed, but also a little passionate. He looked at the 3 swords in front of him, and said with a pale face and a bit weak, "This is the sword of light and the sword of darkness. The middle one is the ordinary version of the sword of gods and demons, the left one is the evolved version of the sword of light, and the right one is also the evolved version of the sword of darkness. These two swords carry a more terrifying aura than the sword of gods and demons. He can only use these two swords when he opens the two forms of light and dark with the one thought of gods and demons. Come back, my sword of gods and demons. Chu Ye took back his martial soul, and the two swords of light and dark automatically merged into the sword of gods and demons. Next, Chu Ye began to understand the strength of the two forms of light and dark. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 78, Obtaining the Fourth Soul Ring. With the thought of gods and demons, Chu Ye's original appearance will change greatly no matter what form he is in. Just as he imagined, the light form is more powerful, and the dark form has stronger penetration, speed, and faster attack speed. The strength of the two forms should be similar, each with its own advantages, and different forms can be used to deal with different soul masters. There are no side effects, but it has a great impact on the body and requires a high level of physical strength. The longer the time is activated, the more painful that body will be. After the pain reaches the limit, it can only be released. If it continues, the body cannot bear it and it may be scrapped. With Chu Ye's current physical strength, he can't hold on for long in both light and dark forms, so he can't use it casually, but can only use it as the last trump card. As for strength, no matter which form is activated, Chu Ye can kill Douluo now. It's terrible. If I had known that Chu Ye is only level 40 now, as his strength continues to grow, the power of a thought of gods and demons will be even more terrifying. Very good, with this power, the Slaughter City group has nothing to fear. Chu Ye smiled faintly. Now, he has full confidence to pass the Slaughter City and get out of the Killing God domain. He immediately got up and left the training room to find Bai Bai Dong. After obtaining the fourth soul ring, he will go to the Slaughter City immediately. Some time ago, Bai Bai Dong took Douluo and Ghost Douluo out of the Wuhan city for several days. After returning, he saw that Bai Bai Dong was in a good mood. Chu Ye guessed that Bai Bai Dong had hunted down the soul ring of Xiao's mother, the 100,000-year soft-bone rabbit. And this 100,000-year soul ring became the seventh ring of Bai Bai Dong's second martial soul, the soul-devouring demon emperor. Now Bai Bai Dong, the soul-devouring demon emperor, has two soul rings that have not been absorbed. Chu Ye knew that Bai Bai Dong's next goal must be to absorb the two 100,000-year soul beasts, the sky blue bull python and the titan giant ape, to replenish the last two soul rings. There are not many 100,000-year soul beasts. The 200,000-year soul beasts, Deming and Ermin, are actually within Chu Ye's consideration, but they are not one of the must-choose ones. Chu Ye speculated that when he reached the fifth soul ring, he should be able to absorb the 100,000-year soul ring, the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth, so he needed 5 soul beasts above the 100,000-year level. And counting the mainland and the sea, there are actually many soul beasts above the 100,000-year level. Take the Xingdou Great Forest for example, Deming and Ermin, as well as the group of sleeping beasts headed by the golden-eyed Black Dragon King Daitian. These beasts are in deep sleep and may be difficult to find. In addition, Chu Ye now has Nrangiluna by his side, so it is not appropriate to attack Daitian and the others. Of course, in addition to these, there is also a soul beast with extremely powerful bloodline in the Xingdou Great Forest, the Dark Demon Evil God Tiger. The Dark Demon Evil God Tiger is an extremely rare and special soul beast. It is the most evil attribute left by the evil god, and possesses evil, darkness, space, time, lightning, wind, and multiple attributes. Now the cultivation should have reached 60,000 years, but with only 60,000 years of cultivation, it can single-handedly challenge the two 100,000-year soul beasts of Deming and Ermin, so even 60,000 years is stronger than the ordinary 100,000-year soul ring. In Chu Ye's opinion, this is the soul ring that best suits him. Therefore, one of his must-haves is the Dark Demon Evil God Tiger. Looking at the sea again, there are not only the deep-sea demon whale king with a cultivation of nearly 1,000,000 years, as well as the 100,000-year level evil tiger demon whale, the demon soul great white shark, and even, Chu Ye guessed that there are many 100,000-year level sea soul beasts. The deep-sea demon whale king is also one of Chu Ye's must-haves. Speaking of another gathering place for soul beasts, that is the far north. The three kings of the far north are the Ice Snow Girl, who has cultivated for 700,000 years, the Snow Emperor, who has cultivated for more than 30 years, and the Titan Snow Demon King, Adai, who barely reached the 200,000-year mark. So Chu Ye has many choices. He doesn't have to fight with Bai Bai Dong and his teacher to snatch the soul rings of the sky blue bull python and the titan giant ape. He is just struggling to decide whether to leave it to Bai Bai Dong or Qian Renxue. After all, Qian Renxue can absorb at least 3 circles of 100,000-year soul rings with the help of the life and death contract. Thinking in his heart, Chu Ye stood in front of Bai Bai Dong in a short while and told her about his breakthrough to level 40. Bai Bai Dong was not too surprised, but was very impressed that Chu Ye was only 11 years old, and his soul power reached level 40. This talent was much inferior to her and Qian Dalu in those days. Okay, the teacher will take you to get the soul ring. Thank you, teacher. The master and apprentice set off immediately and headed for the Xingdou Great Forest. Bai Bai Dong asked, Chu Ye, how many tens of thousands of years do you plan to absorb this time? Chu Ye smiled and said, Teacher, it will be fine if it is more than 60,000 to 70,000 years. 60,000 years. Hey. Bai Bai Dong couldn't help twitching her mouth. Although she had prepared that it might be very high, she was still very surprised. You are such a monster. Teacher, thank you. Chu Ye grinned. Okay, 60,000 years is 60,000 years. No matter what you want, Chu Ye, the teacher will catch it for you. Bai Bai Dong said gently. Thank you, teacher. Silly child, why say thank you to the teacher? Bai Bai Dong smiled. Bai Bai Dong's kindness to Chu Ye is really beyond words. She treats him wholeheartedly. Over the years, Chu Ye can feel Bai Bai Dong's sincerity towards him, so he was entangled before. Da Ming and Erming's soul rings should be given to Bai Bai Dong or Qian Renxue. One is his beloved woman, and the other is a teacher who treats him very well. It's a difficult choice. The master and the disciple set out on their journey, and after many days, they entered the inner area of the Xingdou Great Forest. Chu Ye, soul beasts over 60,000 years old are rare even in the inner area. Let's go directly to the core area, where it's easier to find them. Bai Bai Dong said. Okay. Soul beasts over 50,000 years old may appear in the core area at any time. When you get there, you must follow my footsteps and not leave me for a moment. Do you understand? Bai Bai Dong said very seriously. I understand, teacher. Don't worry, I will follow you closely. Indeed, it's no joke when you get to the core area. Chu Ye didn't dare to be careless. He followed closely behind Bai Bai Dong, and the two quickly ran into the core area. When they arrived at the core area, Bai Bai Dong released her mental power to explore the surroundings. This search lasted for several days and nights. Until the night of the third day, Bai Bai Dong suddenly discovered an extremely strong breath of soul beasts with evil attributes. Chu Ye's sword of gods and demons also reacted strongly, as if telling him that there was a soul beast that was very compatible not far away. Teacher, let's go take a look at the front. Let's go. Bai Bai Dong seemed to care a lot as well. Without Chu Ye saying anything, she immediately took Chu Ye and rushed there. Chapter 79. Dark Demon Evil God Tiger, Bai Bai Dong takes action. As the distance got closer, Bai Bai Dong's mental power had already covered the front of the soul beast, but Bai Bai Dong's mental power was blocked by a domain power. With only a breath of 10,000 years, it has domain power, and it is such an evil attribute. Could it be Dark Demon Evil God Tiger? Bai Bai Dong was very surprised. Her two martial souls, the Death Spider Emperor and the Soul Devouring Spider Emperor, were originally evil attributes. In addition, the Rakshasa 9 tests and Rakshasa god she inherited now are a kind of god who controls the most evil power. The Dark Demon Evil God Tiger is also very suitable for Bai Bai Dong, even more suitable for her than Chu Ye. Roar at this time, the beast's low roar sounded in front, and a terrifying dark purple energy permeated. In the darkness, a pair of red eyes appeared in front of Bai Bai Dong and Chu Ye. The monster in the dark began to walk over from the dark purple air step by step, with an extremely terrifying aura, which made Chu Ye feel a strong sense of oppression for the first time, but his god and demon sword became more excited. Soon, the monster finally appeared in Chu Ye's sight. It was a huge tiger, exuding evil dark purple air all over its body. There was a pair of devil-like wings on its back. At the end of its tail, there was a hook that gathered energy, the evil god hook. This is the Dark Demon Evil God Tiger. It's actually it. Chu Ye looked at the evil tiger in front of him with great fear. From the breath, he could feel that he was completely impossible to be an opponent, but he was very excited. This Dark Demon Evil God Tiger was one of his must-choose spirit rings. He couldn't beat it, wasn't Bai Bai Dong by his side. Teacher, this Dark Demon Evil God Tiger has a cultivation base of more than 60,000 years. Whether it is age or attributes, it is very suitable for my sword of gods and demons. If I can absorb it." Chu Ye suddenly stopped talking halfway, because he saw the same emotion as himself in Bai Dong's eyes. "Yes. I actually forgot that the dark demon evil god tiger is also very suitable for Bai Dong. Bai Dong is also very entangled now. In the end, should she hunt and absorb it herself, or give it to her beloved disciple?" She hesitated. "Chu Ye, teacher, Bai Dong didn't know how to start. Before coming, she said that she would capture whatever Chu Ye wanted, but now she actually wanted to snatch it from her own disciple." Just when Bai Dong didn't know how to start, the arrogant dark demon evil god tiger had already taken the initiative to attack. Roar! It flew and waved its sharp tiger claws with a terrifying momentum, attacking Bai Dong and Chu Ye. "Chu Ye, back off!" Bai Dong protected Chu Ye in front of her, and a terrifying number of soul rings appeared under her feet: yellow, purple, blab, 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 red, and a huge and fierce death spider emperor was shrouded from behind. "Teacher, be careful," Chu Ye reminded loudly. Although Bai Dong has cultivated to level 99, she must suppress her strength because of the 9 tests of Rakshasa, and can only exert the strength of level 98. The strength of the dark demon evil god tiger is at least equivalent to the level 97 titled Douluo, which should not be underestimated. 4th soul skill, Thorn Spider Guy. Long purple-black thorns over 1 meter long were densely covered on every part of Bai Dong's body, carrying a strong poison and strong defensor. Then, Bai Dong faced the dark demon evil god tiger head-on. The dark demon evil god tiger was extremely smart. It was smarter than any soul beast in the Stardew Great Forest, and knew how to fight better. Facing Bai Dong's powerful strength, it was not at all inferior for a while. Evil, darkness, lightning, wind, space, and different skill attacks of various attributes repeatedly resisted Bai Dong's offensive and even launched a counterattack. So strong. Too strong. It was not the first time that Chu Ye saw Bai Dong release her martial spirit, but it was the first time he saw Bai Dong fight. Whether it was Bai Dong or the dark demon evil god tiger, the power displayed by both sides made him feel extremely strong, far beyond what he could fight now. The battle between the two sides, the confrontation between energy and energy, Chu Ye had to stand 100 meters away to stay out of it. 7th soul skill, Martial Soul True Body. Death Domain. A breath of death spread across Bai Dong's body. "Chu Ye, retreat, quickly evacuate my domain." Bai Dong's Death Spider Empower domain not only has the effect of self-amplification and weakening enemy attributes, but also is filled with the Death Spider Emperor's poison and super corrosive effect on the flesh. In this domain, even if Bai Dong can only exert the power of level 98, it is almost equivalent to being invincible, and there are few rivals in the entire continent. The dark demon evil god tiger was ultimately defeated and soon fell into a disadvantage. 8th soul skill, Spider Empower Clone. Bai Dong's 8th soul skill can create a clone with 100% of the power of the original body, which has no wisdom and needs to be controlled, and has the first 7 soul skills of the original body. With the appearance of the clone, the dark demon evil god tiger was beaten back step by step and was already seriously injured. If this situation continues, the dark demon evil god tiger will surely die. The original body and the clone attacked the dark demon evil god tiger at the same time. Roar! The dark demon evil god tiger has already informed that it can't survive from this human woman, but even if it dies, it will take someone with it. It can't die with Bai Dong, but it can kill the back of this woman, the human boy who makes her care. A space vortex appeared, and the figure of the dark demon evil god tiger disappeared instantly. It used the power of space attribute. Bai Dong was on guard around, waiting for the dark demon evil god tiger to appear and attack at any time, but this time, the dark demon evil god tiger disappeared for a little longer than before, and its breath was rapidly moving away. Bai Dong realized something instantly, and her face changed drastically. Not good. Chu Ye. Bai Dong rushed to Chu Ye's position at the first time, and at this time, the dark demon evil god tiger had come to Chu Ye through the space ability. "I'm not the opponent of that woman, but you. I can crush you to death at will." Roar! The dark demon evil god tiger opened its huge tiger mouth, ready to bite Chu Ye into a pulp. At this moment, the shadow of death loomed in front of Chu Ye. This was the first time he was so close to death. The power of light in his body was awakening. Only by using the power of the devil's thought could he survive from the mouth of this evil tiger. But at this moment, Bai Dong stood in front of Chu Ye. Bang! Puff. Bai Bai Dong blocked the attack of the dark demon evil god tiger, but she was almost at her limit and had no time to mobilize her strength to resist. After the attack, Bai Bai Dong spit out a mouthful of blood and was seriously injured. Roar. The dark demon evil god tiger took advantage of the victory and swung out a terrifying claw again, blasting away. Chapter 80 Dark Demon Evil Tiger, Reversing Space. Bang. Ah! Bai Bai Dong not only screamed, but also had her arms and thighs clawed hard by the dark demon evil god tiger, and her clothes and armor in front of her were almost completely torn. Teacher. Chu Ye hugged Bai Bai Dong, who was knocked away by the dark demon evil god tiger's claw. Although he hugged Bai Bai Dong, the terrifying impact also knocked his body away. Bang. Chu Ye's body fell to the ground, and Bai Bai Dong was well protected by him. She didn't fall to the ground, but lay on Chu Ye's body. Teacher, you. Chu Ye was moved. Bai Bai Dong was willing to rush over to protect himself at the cost of being severely injured by the dark demon evil god tiger. This attitude made him have a completely new change in his feelings for Bai Bai Dong. Chu Ye, I'm glad you're okay. Once a teacher, a father for life, this is probably what it means. Bai Bai Dong's feelings for Chu Ye have changed from a disciple at the beginning to now, she almost regards Chu Ye as her own son. She put all the motherly love that originally belonged to Qian Renxue on Chu Ye. At that moment, she was even willing to die to protect Chu Ye's safety. This thought surprised Bai Bai Dong herself. She looked at the dark demon evil god tiger, and her face was full of murderous intent. You actually tried to hurt my disciple, you evil beast. Today, you will not die well. Looking at Bai Bai Dong's terrifying murderous intent, the dark demon evil god tiger's eyes were full of fear. If it weren't for Chu Ye, it would not be able to seriously injure Bai Bai Dong. Moreover, it would not be possible for it to use Chu Ye for the second time. It also knew that both itself and Bai Bai Dong were seriously injured, but it still couldn't defeat the terrifying woman in front of it. Its only trump card to defeat Bai Bai Dong, the domain skill of reversing space, could not be used, because it had to use its evil god hook to leave a mark on Bai Bai Dong in order to forcibly pull such a strong person into the reversal space. But Bai Bai Dong didn't give her this opportunity at all. The dark demon evil god tiger was very upset. It shouldn't have tried to kill Chu Ye just now, but used the evil god hook to leave a mark, so that when Bai Bai Dong blocked it, it could successfully pull Bai Bai Dong into the evil god space. In this way, it might be possible for it to kill Bai Bai Dong and survive successfully. But now it's too late. It can't kill Bai Bai Dong, so it can only kill Chu Ye. Roar. The dark demon evil god tiger decisively released the domain skill, reversing space. This skill must leave a mark to pull a strong man like Bai Bai Dong into the reversal space. But for an enemy like Chu Ye whose strength is far lower than his own, there is no need to trigger it with the evil god hook, and the energy can be directly imprinted on the opponent's body. The night began to darken rapidly, and the moon in the sky seemed to be blocked by a dark sphere. The next second, full of evil, darkness, and space attribute energy, enveloped. In the sky, a purple-black vortex appeared, rising with a strong attraction, trying to forcibly suck Chu Ye into it. No, it's the reversal space, the dark demon evil god tiger will not let me go even if I die. Chu Ye's face was solemn, and his body was completely uncontrollably sucked into it. Chu Ye. Bai Bai Dong grabbed Chu Ye's hand tightly, trying to pull Chu Ye down with all her strength. But she couldn't do it at all, and her hand and Chu Ye's hand just pulled apart little by little. No. Don't. Bai Bai Dong became more and more panicked, and she and Chu Ye's hands completely separated. A tear actually flowed from the corner of her eyes, and she screamed in great grief and anger. She knew that Chu Ye was almost dead after being pulled in. Bai Bai Dong, seeing Bai Bai Dong crying for her, seeing Bai Bai Dong's extreme sadness and almost collapsed emotions, Chu Ye finally understood how important he was in this woman's heart. Bai Bai Dong treated him like this, and Chu Ye would definitely not treat her badly in the future. Teacher. I will never die, you wait for me outside. Chu Ye carried not only his own life, but also the high hopes given by Qian Renxue, Bai Bai Dong, Qian Dalu, and even the high-level people at the Spirit Hall. He would never let himself die so easily. No matter what danger he was in, he had to have the belief that he must survive. Reverse the space, then I will come to meet you. Chu Ye. No, don't. Bai Bai Dong could only watch. Chu Ye just disappeared in front of her eyes. The next second, Chu Ye appeared in a dark space, standing in a dark giant arena. The visibility here was very poor, there was almost no light, only a faint light, the sky was dark, and there was a black full moon in the sky. Roar. The whole space resounded with the beast-like roar of the dark demon evil god tiger. Chu Ye was always alert to his surroundings, and his inner emotions were almost tense to the extreme, but his brain remained absolutely calm, and he did not dare to be careless. Even if he was distracted for a moment, he might die in an instant under the dark demon-killing god tiger. Chu Ye's cheeks were already sweating nervously. He was only level 40, so it was naturally impossible for him to be an opponent with the strength of the 97-level titled Douluo Dark Demon-killing god tiger. But he knew that he was not without the possibility of survival, and it was not without the opportunity to kill the dark demon-killing god tiger. In the battle with Bai Bai Dong, the dark demon evil god tiger was already seriously injured, and its combat effectiveness has been greatly reduced. In addition, Chu Ye is very clear about the effect of the reversal space, and the biggest landing point of the dark demon evil god tiger in it. And as long as Chu Ye targets this landing point, he will be able to win. Roar. As the dark demon evil god tiger roared again, the disc and some buildings of the dark arena lit up with purple light. A voice also sounded in the reversal space. Welcome to the life and death arena. Only when one party dies can this life and death battle end and leave this space. It's finally about to begin. Chu Ye took a deep breath. This is the reversal space. Forcing the opponent to fight a life and death battle, there is no escape. Only when one party dies can this battle end, but the real power of the reversal space is the reverse time. In this space, the dark demon evil god tiger can reverse the opponent's time, turning the enemy from an adult back to the adolescent stage of growth, and even reverse it again to the 6-year-old childhood. All your soul rings, soul bones, special abilities, and soul power will disappear and return to the state you had when you were 6 years old. This is the terrifying part of the heaven-defying space, which is almost unsolvable and invincible. But this ability also has a fatal flaw. As long as this flaw is targeted, the dark demon evil god tiger will also be affected by the space, causing it to reverse back to its infancy. Bang! 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 At this time, the figure of the dark demon evil god tiger has emerged, and he looked down at the young human in front of him with extremely contemptuous eyes. A level 40 soul master can easily kill it even if it is already seriously injured. Chapter 81. Light letter form, Chu Ye fights the dark demon evil god tiger. Roar. The dark demon evil god tiger did not delay any longer, and flew over to kill Chu Ye with one claw. Here. A barely perceptible sneer appeared on Chu Ye's lips. He saw the dark demon evil god tiger's disdainful and contemptuous attitude towards him. It thought it could kill him at will, so it just made an ordinary claw. And every time those so-called strongmen despised Chu Ye, they would pay a heavy price for it. Angel 6 God Sword Technique, Divine Light breaks the sky slash. Ha! A strong golden light suddenly rose from Chu Ye's body, and a huge lightsaber was swung out in an instant. Puff! Roar! Chu Ye slashed the dark demon evil god tiger with a sword, and the terrifying power chopped the opponent off on the spot. Bang! Light attribute skills have a great suppressive power on the dark demon evil god tiger. Chu Ye landed steadily, straightening his body. The Angel 6 God Sword Technique is a unique skill created by the Angel God, with an extreme light attribute energy, and the light attribute energy has an absolute restraint on the dark demon evil god tiger. Roar! The dark demon evil tiger roared in pain, and immediately suffered a great loss. He no longer had the heart to despise, but was met with incomparable murderous intent and anger. Damn human boy! Here, do you think I'm an ant that you can easily crush to death? Dark demon evil tiger, today, you'll die under my sword. Chu Ye held the sword of gods and demons in his hand. At this moment, he was majestic and murderous. Ignorant human boy, do you think you can do it? Go to hell. Roar. Third soul skill, God and Demon 36 consecutive slashes. Chu Ye lowered his body and avoided the claws of the dark demon evil tiger from below with extremely exquisite body movements, and quickly slashed its legs with a sword. Puff. The God and Demon 36 consecutive slashes are the easiest to hit when facing a large soul beast. With the first slash hitting, the continuous slashes will not stop. You dare to hurt the teacher, I will make you pay a heavy price. Hurt. Puff. The third slash. The 7th slash. The 10th slash. The 20th slash. The 30th slash. Roar. Chu Ye dodged and dodged the dark demon evil god tiger from all directions, different positions, and different angles, slashing it madly and continuously. It seems that the dark demon evil god tiger was not only severely injured by the teacher, but even the poison of the teacher's death spider king has gradually spread into its body. its reaction and speed are obviously declining rapidly. Puff. The 35th slash. The 36th slash. All the power was concentrated on this last slash. This slash directly cut a deep wound on the back of the dark demon evil god tiger. Roar. Blood splattered, and the dark demon evil god tiger screamed, but when Chu Ye's slashing streak ended, it hit Chu Ye's abdomen with a hit of the evil god hook tail. Bang. Chu Ye was instantly knocked away, and his body slammed hard on the stone wall, but at that moment, the passive skill of the phoenix trunk bone was triggered, and a firebird seemed to float on his body, and the flames warmed Chu Ye. Not only was he not injured, but he was even more energetic. What a terrible evil hook. It only took one time to trigger my phoenix passive skill that saved my life. If I take another hit, I will definitely die. Chu Ye's face was solemn. I didn't die. The dark demon evil tiger was gloomy and very surprised. This time it will burst out with all its strength to kill Chu Ye. Chu Ye must also go all out. A strong light gradually flashed on his body. Come on, Yan Shen Mo, Huan Xin form. At this moment, the terrifying light on Chu Ye's body seemed to illuminate the entire reversal space. An extreme light energy covered the entire arena. The dark demon evil tiger, who was afraid of light, felt fear for the first time. It stopped and tried to retreat. At this time, Huan Xin's voice sounded in Chu Ye's mind again. Huan Xin. I'm the sun. The light dissipated in an instant, and Chu Ye's appearance had also changed. The original black short hair turned into long golden hair. The clothes on his body also turned into a golden suit with the sun logo, and the sword of gods and demons in his hand also evolved into a stronger sword of light. At this moment, Chu Ye seemed to be the incarnation of the god of light, exuding the ultimate light attribute, and a sacred and majestic aura. Glorious blade. Chu Ye kept swinging his sword, and there were continuous blades of light hitting the dark demon evil god tiger. Bang bang bang. The dark demon evil god tiger did not dare to take the light blade with the ultimate light attribute. It ran quickly, dodged, and then closed the distance and pounced on Chu Ye with one claw. Light thrust blade. The light gathered on the sword of light, and it instantly accumulated power, and the terrifying light slash blasted out. Roar. Puff. The dark demon evil god tiger was slashed again, and the wound of light attribute made it feel so painful. It never thought that a human boy would be so strong. It was no longer afraid, and it was like crazy, and it would kill Chu Ye today. Ha! Roar. Both sides started a fierce fight, whether it was Chu Ye or the dark demon evil god tiger. Both began to have wounds on their bodies. After only 3 minutes of fighting, both sides were already covered with dead and wounded, and their bodies were covered with blood. Roar. That's the dark demon evil thunder. Chu Ye's face sank. This was a powerful skill of the dark demon evil god tiger, which combined the 3 attributes of wind, thunder, and evil. Light wind continuous slash. Chu Ye did not dare to be careless, and immediately released the strongest attack of the light letter form. 3 huge light blades nearly 20 meters long were blasted head-on. Bang, boom, boom, boom. He actually successfully blocked a blow. The strongest attack of the light letter form is indeed terrible, but if it were not for the extreme light attribute to restrain the dark demon evil god tiger, it would be difficult to resist this dark demon evil thunder. But now my light letter form can't hold on for long. If it continues, I'm afraid. Chu Ye's face was pale. There were already a lot of wounds on his body, and blood was constantly flowing out. Blood flowed down from his arm, to his palm, and then to his fingers, dripping onto the ground. Such a high-intensity battle made his body unable to support the light form. But the dark demon evil god tiger was not much better at the moment. It was already seriously injured by Bai Bai Dong, and with the poison erosion, it was almost dead. The dark demon evil god tiger really didn't expect that it would be so difficult to deal with Chu Ye, and it had to use the ability to reverse time. It finally began to inject black light energy into the roulette under its feet. This process only lasted a few seconds. Once successful, Chu Ye would reverse time back to the 6-year-old form. At the time, Chu Ye would no longer have the power to resist. But the opportunity he was waiting for to kill the dark demon evil god tiger was also at this time. If you want me to turn back to 6 years old, then you turn back to childhood. Chu Ye's cold light flashed. Zoom light slash. This is the fastest move in the light form, and it can also instantly advance the distance with the opponent. He has been staying at this moment without using it. The extreme light attribute instantly defeated the black light energy on the dark demon evil god tiger. Chapter 82. kill the dark demon evil tiger, explode the soul bone, and absorb the fourth ring. The light sign form disappeared, and Chu Ye lost all his soul rings, soul bones, and external soul bones, and his body turned back to the appearance of a 6-year-old. But the size of the dark demon evil god tiger was also shrinking, and it also turned back to its infancy. A smile finally appeared on the corner of Chu Ye's mouth, and he said to the evil tiger in front of him, "Dark demon evil god tiger, now, this life and death battle should end. Even in the infancy, I am far stronger than you, human, you can't kill me." "Really?" "That's right, with my strength alone, the 6-year-old me now can't be your opponent in the infancy, but my strength has never been just mine. Life and death contract, power sharing." At this moment, it seemed as if Qian Renxue was standing beside Chu Ye. Chu Ye's 6-year-old level 10 soul power began to rise rapidly, and directly reached the soul power close to that of a high-level soul master. How could it be? Who on earth is he and how could he be so evil? Die. Puff. Raw Chu Ye cut off the head of the dark demon evil god tiger with a sword, and the tiger's head fell to the ground, with its eyes wide open. "It's over, it's finally dead." Chu Ye breathed a long sigh of relief, and his body fell to the ground. This was the most difficult battle he had ever experienced, and the one that was closest to death. He lay on the ground breathing violently, thinking back to the battle just now, and was a little scared. He was afraid that Qian Renxue would die with him. In the future, I will never let myself fall into such a desperate situation again. Soon, the reversal space disappeared. Chu Ye also returned to reality. Seeing that Chu Ye successfully killed the dark demon evil god tiger and survived, Bai Bai Dong was extremely surprised. This felt like a miracle. Chu Ye. "Teacher, I'm fine, don't worry, I'm not going to die yet." Chu Ye's pale face barely squeezed out a smile, and said very weakly, "It's like this, and you are still smiling." Bai Bai Dong was extremely distressed, and immediately mobilized her soul power to suppress the remaining energy in Chu Ye's wounds and perform a simple healing. With Bai Bai Dong's help, Chu Ye got much better. With his Phoenix soul bone, he would gradually heal his wounds and restore his soul power. "Teacher, look at the soul bone." Chu Ye pointed to the head soul bone emitting black light next to the dead body of the dark demon evil god tiger. Bai Bai Dong took a look and she had already discovered. Now is not the time to care about the soul bone, but whether you are sure to absorb the soul ring of the dark demon evil god tiger. "I can." "Okay, then the teacher will help you absorb it. The dark demon evil god tiger is extremely powerful. Even if it is only 60,000 years old, the power generated by its soul ring is not inferior to the soul ring of the 100,000 year level. Now it is yours." Bai Bai Dong sighed heavily in her heart and felt very sorry. But there was no way that the dark demon evil god tiger was killed by Chu Ye, and she had no chance of getting this ring. Now she was willing to give the soul ring to Chu Ye. Perhaps not having to choose was the best result. "Teacher, I know that the dark demon evil god tiger is also very suitable for you. Don't worry, when I grow up, I will find 2 powerful 100,000 year soul rings for you in the future." Chu Ye said very seriously. "How old are you, kid, and you want to help the teacher get soul rings? Ha, go absorb them quickly." Bai Bai Dong shook her head and smiled, not taking it too seriously. Although she still has a martial soul, she is still short of 2 soul rings and can't choose to absorb them so quickly, but Chu Ye is still young. When he is able to fight against a 100,000 year soul beast, Bai Bai Dong may have chosen to absorb the soul beast. "Yes." Chu Ye nodded solemnly and slowly walked towards the dark demon evil god tiger. The dark demon evil god tiger is the most powerful and rare soul beast among all the soul beasts in the Stardew Great Forest. I didn't expect it to become my 4th soul ring. In this way, I have one more choice for a 100,000 year soul beast. Chu Ye was very excited. He slowly sat cross-legged on the ground, calmed down, and his eyes were stern. "Come on, dark demon evil god tiger, now, your power will become a part of me." The black soul ring was mobilized from the dark demon evil god tiger and covered Chu Ye's body. In an instant, a huge evil force enveloped Chu Ye's body and mind. His spirit was instantly impacted, and the resentment of the dark demon evil god tiger began to impact Chu Ye's spirit. "You don't even think about getting my power. Let's die together." In the spiritual sea of consciousness, the dark demon evil god tiger's resentment was full of violence, but Chu Ye was not afraid at all. He held the sword of gods and demons with a majestic aura. "I can kill you. I can also wipe out your resentment. Dark demon evil god tiger, submit to me." your power will eventually be used by me. In the spiritual sea of consciousness, Chu Ye fought with the dark demon evil god tiger again. After a long time, the soul ring finally completely merged with the body, and Chu Ye slowly opened his eyes. His soul power also surged again, level 41, level 42, level 43, level 44. Chu Ye won 4 levels in a row again. The dark attribute of the sword of gods and demons became more terrifying, and his mental power also surged. The mental power of the soul sect alone was equivalent to that of the soul Douluo. With the improvement of mental power, Chu Ye became more sensitive and clear to everything around him, and his 5 senses, hearing, smell, taste, vision, and touch, also improved greatly. Xiao Yi's aura has become much stronger after this time. Bai Dong was shocked. She calmed down, walked over and asked, Xiao Ye, what is your 4th soul skill? Chu Ye said happily, my 4th soul skill is called God, Demon, Evil and God Destroyer. It is a strong attack skill. I can strike out with one sword at the same time. Evil, darkness, space, time, thunder and wind, 6 attributes of soul power condensed into an evil tiger. Among them, evil, darkness and thunder are mainly for damage. Space can move and disappear instantly, taking the enemy by surprise. Time can limit the enemy's actions, and wind is for speed. It's so terrible. In this case, Xiao Ye, it's almost impossible for the enemy to dodge this move in a one-on-one situation. Yes, 6 evil tigers attack with 6 different attributes. The combination of wind and space is almost impossible to avoid. Use time to freeze the time, and the remaining thunder, evil, and darkness attributes can all hit the enemy. Solve it in one fell swoop. Very terrible. Bai Dong nodded secretly. Xiao Ye, since you have absorbed the soul ring of the dark demon evil god tiger, then you should also absorb the head soul bone. Bai Dong said gently. Chu Ye smiled. Teacher, then I won't be polite. Next, Chu Ye also absorbed the 60,000-year-old dark demon evil god tiger head soul bone that exploded. Although he looked down on the 10,000-year level soul bones, the soul bones of the dark demon evil soul tiger were no different from ordinary soul bones. The power they gave was not inferior to the 100,000-year soul bones. At most, there was one less skill, but the strength of the skill might not be any worse than that of the 100,000-year-old soul bones. After a moment, when Chu Ye finished absorbing, his mental power surged again, directly reaching the level of a titled Douluo, which was equivalent to the mental power of a 91st or 92nd level titled Douluo. It also gave the dark demon evil god tiger head soul bone the skill of the evil god space. Chapter 83. You already know that you want to die. Tang San wants to kill Chu Ye. The evil god space is the reverse space of the dark demon evil god tiger. It's a pity that there is no ability to reverse time, but after pulling the enemy into the evil god space, all aspects of its own attributes will be increased by 20%, the dark attribute will be increased by 30%, and the enemy's attributes will be weakened by 10%. It's a bit like the effect of the domain. In other words, in the evil god space, with the thought of gods and demons, the dark faith form will be stronger. If the dark faith form is turned on in the evil god space, Chu Ye, who is level 44, may be able to kill a low-level titled Douluo. The ability to reverse time is not needed. I feel that this skill is too perverted, like a bug. It's unbelievable. I'm only at the soul sect level, but I have the power to fight against the titled Douluo. Chu Ye clenched his hands tightly, feeling his own power, and his heart was surging. Now, Bai Dong suddenly felt that Chu Ye helped her find 2 100,000-year soul beasts, as if it was not a joke. Maybe this kid can really do it. Teacher, you're injured by the dark demon evil god tiger just now to protect me. Now let's go back and get treatment. Well, let's go. The two quickly returned to Hun City. After returning, Bai Dong entered a closed-door state to heal herself. Chu Ye also entered a state of recuperation under the treatment of a healing spirit master. After a full half-month, Chu Ye's battle with the dark demon evil god tiger completely healed the injuries left behind. On the other side, Tang San also followed Yu Xiaogang early to the nearby soul-splitting forest, obtained the spirit ring and came back. He studied with Yu Xiaogang in Noting College for a period of time, and the relationship between the master and the master grew a lot. Tang San did not change much. When hunting spirit beasts, Yu Xiaogang was poisoned by a 400-year-old mandragora snake, and Tang San killed it himself in the end. Through this period of time, Tang San has established a master-disciple relationship with Yu Xiaogang, and regards Yu Xiaogang as his real master. Tang San will naturally take the teacher's affairs to heart. He also heard about the incident a few years ago when Yu Xiaogang was beaten up by a teenager. So, Tang San came to Yu Xiaogeng's office and asked seriously, "Teacher, you told me at the time that you hoped I could vent your anger for you. That person was the boy who came to Noting College to beat you and insult you more than 2 years ago." Yu Xiaogeng clenched his fists tightly, his heart was gloomy, and a trace of murderous intent flashed in his eyes, but it was only for a moment, and he quickly covered it up, and said righteously on the surface, "Xiao-san, you already know it all." Tang San's eyes changed, because he noticed Yu Xiaogeng's murderous intent at that moment, and thought in his heart, "It seems that the teacher wants to kill him." Tang San never showed mercy when killing people, not to mention that Tang San was from the Tang sect, which used hidden weapons and poisons instead of legitimate means, and specialized in sneak attacks, surprise attacks, dark means, and arrows to hurt people. Killing is commonplace. The third general outline of the Tang sect was wanton Baelu. If you are sure that the opponent is an enemy, as long as there is a way to kill, don't show mercy, otherwise it will only add trouble to yourself. When Tang San realized that Yu Xiaogeng had murderous intentions towards Chu Ye, he had already decided in his heart to kill the boy who had beaten up his teacher. "Well, I have heard about the teacher's matter. Don't worry, teacher, I will definitely help you get rid of this bad temper." Yu Xiaogeng was very happy in his heart, and his expression was a bit serious. He patted Tang San's shoulder. "Xiao-san, your kindness is appreciated by the teacher, but now you should focus on cultivation and make yourself stronger first. As for the kid, we will talk about it later when we have a chance. That boy is gifted. His first ring is 1,000 years old. When I met him, he was already a second ring Great Spirit Master. Xiao-san, you are not his opponent now, so you have to work hard to become stronger, understand?" In Yu Xiaogeng's view, as long as the twin martial spirits grow up, they will be stronger than Chu Ye. And Tang San's own strength is also very strong, so strong that Yu Xiaogeng is very surprised. There is hope for this revenge. But now Tang San's level is still too low, so Yu Xiaogeng is not in a hurry. "I understand, teacher." Tang San nodded, but he didn't really take Chu Ye, who beat up the teacher, seriously, because what he was really strong in now is the Tang sect's hidden weapons. This was Tang San's absolute confidence. "Although I don't know your name or identity, you have already taken the way to death. If I meet you one day, it will be your death." Tang San also flashed a trace of murderous intent, and then left Yu Xiaogeng's office. "Okay, strange." Chu Ye rubbed his nose that had just sneezed. He didn't know that he had become Tang San's target to kill. He went all the way to Bai Bai Dong's residence. After a while, he came to Bai Bai Dong and asked, "Teacher, how is your injury recovering?" "It's fine now." Bai Bai Dong replied, and then asked, "Xiao Ye, what do you want to talk to me about?" "Teacher, I want to tell you that I plan to go to the Slaughter City for training." Chu Ye said bluntly. "What, Slaughter City?" Bai Bai Dong frowned and immediately shook her head. "No, Xiao Ye, your strength is indeed strong, but Slaughter City is too dangerous. The most important point there is that you can't use soul skills. It's too risky for you to go there now. It's not the right time yet. Let's wait a few years." "Teacher, I'm 100% sure that I can come out alive from there, otherwise I wouldn't suggest going to Slaughter City now, you believe it?" Chu Ye's face was full of confidence. "Really want to go?" Bai Bai Dong knew that Chu Ye would generally not do things that he was not sure of. "Yeah." Very determined. Chu Ye nodded solemnly. "Well, then, you go, the teacher will help you at the Slaughter City." Bai Bai Dong sighed. "Teacher, don't worry, don't worry." "How can I not worry? There are too few people who can walk out of the kind of place in thousands of years. The teacher has been there and has a deep understanding." Bai Bai Dong pushed Chu Ye's forehead with her finger and said with some pampering, "It's okay." Chu Ye smiled and walked behind Bai Bai Dong to rub her shoulders. "Okay, I'll let the controller of the Slaughter City know so that they won't target you at least, but for the game in the Hell Slaughter Field, it's up to you." "I understand, thank you, teacher." The Slaughter City, which seems to be isolated from the world, actually has some kind of interest relationship with the Spirit Hall. The Slaughter City is like a large prison, where evil people who can't survive go. This is equivalent to solving a lot of troubles for the Spirit Hall, so the Spirit Hall allows the existence of the Slaughter City. Chu Ye went there as Bai Bai Dong's disciple, at least the King of Slaughter didn't dare to trip him up. Afterwards, Chu Ye returned to his residence, where Qian Renxue and were waiting for him to come back. Outside the door, as soon as it was opened, ran over with a hop and a skip. "Brother Chu Ye." Chapter 84. Qian Renxue also walked in front of Chu Ye and asked, "Did she agree?" Yes, she agreed. I plan to leave for the slaughter city tomorrow. Chu Ye nodded, reached out and touched Qian Renxue's cheek, and said gently, Swear, I will be gone for at least a year. During this time, take care of yourself and take care of N. Chu Ye, can't I really go with you? Qian Renxue grabbed Chu Ye's arm and asked with her eyes. Wants to go too. Doesn't want to leave brother Chu Ye for so long. Qian Renxue and were very reluctant to leave, especially Qian Renxue. Since Chu Ye signed a life and death contract with her, they have been together almost every day. The longest time they have been apart was less than 10 days, but now they have to be separated for more than a year. Qian Renxue felt that it was very long when she thought about it. She wished that Chu Ye would stay with her for the rest of her life. You can't go to that kind of place. You have to be good and wait for me in the Pope's palace. Chu Ye gently touched his little head. Then he said to Qian Renxue, Swear, I'm also reluctant to leave you, but I have said before that the murderous aura of the city of slaughter may be bad for you. You can't go with me on this trip. Wait for me to come back, okay? Okay. Qian Renxue was a little unhappy. In the evening, Chu Ye, Qian Renxue, and N had dinner together. After dinner, Qian Renxue actually took the initiative to propose for the first time that she would stay here to sleep tonight. Chu Ye was a little excited. Since he slept together once that night, he had no chance to sleep with Qian Renxue again. The reason was that Qian Renxue was afraid that Chu Ye would not be able to hold back at night, and the two of them would take the last step of having sex. She didn't want it so fast. She wanted to save her first time for the night when she married Chu Ye and held the wedding in the future. This was a very beautiful idea, and it was also the idea that made Chu Ye's second brother miserable, but he respected Qian Renxue's decision. Since the last confession until now, Chu Ye has only kissed and hugged Qian Renxue, and also kissed through her clothes, but he has not yet put his hand inside her. At this moment, the time has come to 10 o'clock in the evening. N has gone to bed early. Chu Ye and Qian Renxue were lying flat on the bed, and his mind could not help but start to wonder. Swear, you took the initiative to ask me to sleep with you tonight. Does that mean you agree to me doing that? Really? Although she has slept in the same bed with Chu Ye for a night, Qian Renxue still feels very shy. Her little face flushed and she said, It's getting late, I'm going to take a shower. Oh, okay, go ahead. Qian Renxue turned over the quilt and got out of bed, then walked into the bathroom with her jade-like body raised and her hips straight. Wow. Sizzle. Soon, in the bathroom next to her, the sound of water flowing could be heard as Qian Renxue took a bath. Chu Ye lay on the bed, her heart pounding. She was upset, and her heart could not calm down. Listening to the sound of running water, she could even imagine the extremely fascinating scene of Qian Renxue bathing in it. About half an hour later, Qian Renxue finally walked out of the bathroom. It is said that people look better after taking a bath, which is true. A hot bath can promote blood circulation, make the face and lips become rosy and plump, and the skin will be hydrated, the pores will shrink, and you will be more handsome and beautiful. Looking at Qian Renxue, Chu Ye felt that she had become more beautiful at this moment. She was wearing a white ice cream pajamas dress. This kind of pajamas dress was very sexy, looming and translucent. You could vaguely see the snow-white skin and Qian Renxue's inner ants. From the upper body to the chest, you could slightly see the deer hook, and the lower body only covered half of the thighs. The snow-white and slender long legs were almost displayed in front of Chu Ye. She had the charm of a mature woman, tall, full, and graceful. She had reached C-cup, and her figure was walking slowly. Chu Ye looked from her face to the front of her body, then to her hips, thighs, and the delicate and exquisite jade feet, and the figure walking towards him. Too beautiful, such a charming creature in the world, how can I? Chu Ye couldn't help swallowing his throat, a little fascinated, and a little absent-minded. There was also that charming body fragrance emanating from Qian Renxue's body. Everything made Chu Ye feel incomparably perfect and unable to calm down. Chu Ye, don't you want to take a shower? Seeing Chu Ye looking at her with a burning face, Qian Renxue blushed and asked weakly. Wash. I'll wash right away. Chu Ye jumped up from the bed in an instant, and then rushed into the bathroom. Qian Renxue looked at Chu Ye's anxious look, not only covered her mouth and smiled, but her face became even hotter, because she saw Chu Ye's. This made her amazed. Oh my god, Chu Ye's has become so terrible, soon. Chu Ye quickly took a shower, changed into pajamas and walked out. He had seen Qian Renxue lying on the bed, waiting for him. Her. Swear, then I'll go to bed. Chu Ye's heart was already very excited at the moment. He tried to restrain himself, but it was difficult to stay calm. Well, come up. Qian Renxue nodded. Her expression was extremely gentle, like a well-behaved little elf. Chu Ye turned over the quilt and lay down in the bed. As soon as he came in, he smelled the charming fragrance of Qian Renxue beside him, and his thigh touched Qian Renxue's delicate and smooth thigh at that moment. Chu Ye clearly felt that Qian Renxue's body trembled slightly at that moment. Bang! Bang bang! Both of their heartbeats were beating violently. Swear! Qian Renxue had just responded, and Chu Ye pressed her under him in the next second. His whole body was completely pressed on Qian Renxue's body, tightly pressed against her. The two were face to face. Looking at Qian Renxue's red face, he could no longer tolerate it, and kissed Qian Renxue's lips hard. Chu Ye. Swear. Qian Renxue did not resist and put her arms around Chu Ye's neck. This time, the two of them embraced and kissed passionately. Chu Ye began to be dissatisfied with kissing, and his hands began to become dishonest. Qian Renxue trembled violently. It's okay, swear. Qian Renxue bit her lips tightly, her whole body numb, and her body trembled from time to time. Swear, give yourself to me completely tonight, okay? Chu Ye looked at the woman in his arms and said gently. Well, from now on, I'm yours, and you can do whatever you want to me. Qian Renxue also completely lost herself. Now she can't control her brain. She no longer has a psychological defense line and can let Chu Ye do whatever he wants to her. I know, swear. Well, Chu Ye took a deep breath and no longer hesitated. Alas, as expected, this chapter was reviewed as soon as it was published, and hundreds of words were harmonized. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 85. Qian Renxue took the initiative to stay overnight. Repost, blocked, edit and repost. Qian Renxue also walked up to Chu Ye and asked, did she agree? Yes, she agreed. I plan to set off for the city of slaughter tomorrow. Chu Ye nodded, reached out and touched Qian Renxue's cheek, and said gently, swear, I will be gone for at least a year. During this time, take care of yourself and take care of me. Chu Ye, can't I really go with you? Qian Renxue grabbed Chu Ye's arm, her eyes pleading. Wants to go too. Doesn't want to leave brother Chu Ye for so long. Qian Renxue and were both reluctant to leave, especially Qian Renxue. Since Chu Ye signed a life and death contract with her, they have been together almost every day, and the longest time they have been apart was less than 10 days. Now they have to be separated for more than a year. Qian Renxue felt that it was very long just thinking about it. She wished she could be with Chu Ye for the rest of her life. You can't go to that kind of place. You have to be good and wait for me in the Pope's palace. Chu Ye gently touched his little head. Then he said to Qian Renxue, swear, I'm also reluctant to leave you, but I have said before that the murderous aura of the city of slaughter may be bad for you. You can't go with me on this trip. Wait for me to come back, okay? Okay. Qian Renxue was a little unhappy. In the evening, Chu Ye, Qian Renxue, and had dinner together. After dinner, Qian Renxue actually took the initiative to propose for the first time that she would stay here to sleep tonight. Chu Ye was a little excited. Since he slept together once that night, he had no chance to sleep with Qian Renxue again. The reason was that Qian Renxue was afraid that Chu Ye would not be able to hold back at night, and the two would take the last step of having sex. She didn't want it so fast. She wanted to save her first time for the night when she married Chu Ye and held the wedding. This was a very beautiful idea, and it was also the idea that made Chu Ye's second brother miserable, but he respected Qian Renxue's decision. Since the last confession, Chu Ye has only kissed and hugged Qian Renxue, and also kissed through her clothes, but has not yet reached inside. At this moment, the time has come to 10 o'clock in the evening. He has already gone to bed early. Chu Ye and Qian Renxue laid flat on the bed, and his mind has begun to uncontrollably think. Swear, you took the initiative to ask me to sleep with you tonight. Does that mean you agree to me doing that? Is that so? Although she has slept in the same bed with Chu Ye for one night, Qian Renxue still feels very shy. Her little face is a little red and she said, it's getting late, I'm going to take a shower. Oh, okay, go ahead. Qian Renxue turned over the quilt and got out of bed, then walked into the bathroom with her jade-like steps and her straight buttocks twisted. Wow. Zzz. Soon, the sound of Qian Renxue taking a shower came from the bathroom next to her. Chu Ye was lying on the bed, her heart was beating fast, she was upset, and her heart could not calm down. Listening to the sound of running water, she could even imagine the extremely fascinating scene of Qian Renxue bathing in it. About half an hour later, Qian Renxue finally came out of the bathroom. It is said that people will look better after taking a bath. This is true. A hot bath can promote blood circulation, make the face and lips rosy and plump, and the skin will be hydrated. The pores will shrink, and you will be more handsome and beautiful. Looking at Qian Renxue, Chu Ye felt that she became more beautiful at this moment. She was wearing a white ice cream pajamas dress. This pajamas dress was very sexy, blooming, and had a translucent feeling. You could vaguely see the snow-white skin inside and the inner arms of Qian Renxue. From the upper body to the chest, you can slightly see the deer hook, and the lower body only covers half of the thighs. The snow-white and slender long legs are almost displayed in front of Chu Ye. She possessed the charm of a mature woman, tall, full, graceful, already reaching C-cup, her slowly approaching figure. Chu Ye looked from her face to her front, then to her hips, thighs, and the delicate and exquisite jade feet, and the figure walking towards him. So beautiful, such a charming creature in the world, how can I? Chu Ye couldn't help swallowing his throat, a little fascinated, and a little absent-minded. And the charming body fragrance emanating from Qian Renxue's body, everything made Chu Ye feel incomparably perfect, and unable to calm down. Chu Ye, don't you want to take a shower? Seeing Chu Ye looking at her with a hot face, Qian Renxue's face flushed, and asked weakly. Take a shower? I'll take a shower right away. Chu Ye jumped up from the bed in an instant, and then rushed into the bathroom. Qian Renxue looked at Chu Ye's anxious look, not only covered her mouth and smiled, but her face became even hotter, soon. Chu Ye quickly finished his shower, changed into his pajamas and walked out. He had already seen Qian Renxue lying on the bed, waiting for him. Here, I'll get on the bed then. Chu Ye's heart was already very excited at the moment. He tried to restrain himself, but it was difficult to stay calm. Well, you come up. Qian Renxue nodded, her expression was extremely gentle, like a well-behaved little fairy. Okay. Chu Ye turned over the quilt and lay down in the quilt. As soon as he came in, he smelled the charming fragrance of Qian Renxue beside him, and his thighs also touched Qian Renxue's delicate and smooth thighs at that moment. Bang! Bang! Both of their hearts were beating violently. Swear. Well, Qian Renxue had just responded, and Chu Ye pressed her under him in the next second. His whole body was completely pressed on Qian Renxue's body, tightly pressed. What do you want to do? Qian Renxue said weakly. What do you think? The two of them were face to face. Looking at Qian Renxue's red face, Chu Ye could no longer tolerate it and kissed Qian Renxue hard on the lips. Chu Ye. Swear. Qian Renxue did not resist and put her arms around Chu Ye's neck. This time, the two of them hugged and kissed passionately. Chu Ye began to be dissatisfied with the kiss, and his hands began to become dishonest. Qian Renxue trembled violently. It's okay, swear. Qian Renxue bit her lips tightly, her whole body numb, and her body trembled from time to time. Swear, give yourself to me completely tonight, okay? Chu Ye looked at the woman in his arms and said gently. Well, I'm yours from now on, you can do whatever you want to me. Chapter 86 Going to the City of Slaughter, the four princes of the Tiando Empire. However, at this critical moment, suddenly there was a knock on the door. Brother Chu Ye, I'm hungry. Chu Ye. Damn it, his voice made the two people who were in a state of panic sober up instantly, and Qian Renxue and Chu Ye became nervous. It also completely broke the feeling and mood of the two. Why didn't you come earlier or later? Why did you come at this time? If you were 1 second later, even 1 second later, I would, Brother Chu Ye. Qian Renxue signaled Chu Ye to stop. But, swear, Chu Ye, no, and will come in soon. Qian Renxue grabbed Chu Ye's arm and shook her head. Oh, okay. Chu Ye gave up, sighed heavily in his heart, and responded. I'm coming, Brother Chu Ye will make you some food, you ate outside. Chu Ye, go quickly. Oh, I know. Chu Ye put on his clothes and walked out of the room. Just now, I was so embarrassed. Qian Renxue's face was extremely red, and she lay on the bed with a fever. Recalling the scene just now, she was extremely shy and covered her head with the quilt. From time to time, Qian Renxue's shy, whimpering voice came from the quilt. I was careless. Chu Ye was very helpless, and was transformed by the Silver Dragon King and was very good at eating. Usually, there were a lot of food in his room. Tonight, because Qian Renxue was going to sleep here, she forgot to prepare food for his room. After he came out to get some food for him, he hurried back to the room and found that Qian Renxue had already put on her clothes and fell asleep quietly. Are you asleep? Looking at Qian Renxue who was already asleep, Chu Ye smiled helplessly. He did not disturb Qian Renxue to rest. He turned off the lights, lay down beside her, and fell asleep quietly. The next morning, Chu Ye woke up and found that Qian Renxue had woken up a long time ago. She was curled up in his arms, hugging him tightly. Are you awake? Qian Renxue said gently. Well, when did you wake up? Chu Ye kissed Qian Renxue's forehead gently. I woke up a long time ago. Really? You slept well last night? Chu Ye looked helpless. He was so uncomfortable that he couldn't sleep last night. Hee, okay, let's get up. Qian Renxue smiled secretly. Kiss me, then get up. Chu Ye pointed to her cheek. Qian Renxue was very obedient and wanted to get close to Chu Ye's face, but unexpectedly, Chu Ye suddenly moved and kissed her mouth. Chu Ye, you. Hate it. Chu Ye didn't want to get up so soon. He just wanted to stay with Qian Renxue for a while. The two stayed in bed for a while before getting up and washing up. After having breakfast with Qian Renxue and Chu Ye should also go to the killing city. Zwyer will be left to you to take care of while I'm back. Chu Ye instructed. Okay, I got it. Chu Ye, we'll wait for you to come back. Qian Renxue threw herself into Chu Ye's arms. Let's go. After saying goodbye, Chu Ye slowly walked away. Looking at Chu Ye's back as he left, Qian Renxue was torn. 3 days after Chu Ye left, Qian Renxue finally stopped tossing and made a decision. She came to her and said, Sisters, where is going to find Chu Ye? You stay in the Pope's palace and wait for us to come back. During this time, I will ask someone to take good care of you. Sister, are you leaving too? Well, the place Chu Ye is going to is very dangerous. Sisters Where is worried about him and wants to stay with him. Okay. And was a little sad. Qian Renxue quickly packed up her luggage and left the Pope's palace to chase the man she loved. At this moment, in Tiando Empire, Tiando City, Tiando Palace, Nine Fengzi was invited by Emperor Chu Ye to visit the palace. As the leader of the 7 major sects on the continent today, the 7 Treasures Glazed sect is naturally the object that the Tiando Empire is trying hard to win over. The 7 Treasures Glazed sect also wants to get the support of the Tiando royal family, so both sides are trying to get closer. Therefore, Emperor Chu Ye proposed that Nine Fengzi choose one of his 4 princes as his apprentice and teach him. Nine Fengzi naturally would not refuse, which was exactly what he wanted. Emperor Chu Ye smiled and said, Haha, I wonder which of my 4 sons Master Nine prefers more. Nine Fengzi actually thought about it a long time ago. Emperor Chu Ye has a total of 4 sons, 1 daughter, 4 princes, and 1 princess. The eldest prince, Zhu Qinghe, is relatively smart, but only relatively smart. The second prince, Douluo Dalu, is extremely smart, far better than the eldest prince, and can be described as outstanding. The third prince, Zhu Tian, is a martial arts prodigy and has excellent talent as a soul master. The fourth prince, Zhu Ben, is still young and has no advantages at present. Nine Fengzi wanted to choose a disciple, so he naturally had to choose the one who was most likely to become the crown prince. Once the disciple became the crown prince, he would be the Grand Master. With a high status, the 7 Treasures Glazed sect would benefit greatly in inheriting the throne in the future. The eldest prince had certain advantages as the eldest son, but whether the Tiando Empire could sit on the throne depended more on talent. The fourth prince Zhu Ben was too young to be crown prince. Although the third prince was a martial arts prodigy and a genius soul master, the ability that the future emperor needed more was actually his brain, and he had to know how to control power and manage rights. Therefore, Nine Fengzi chose the second prince Douluo Dalu. Nine Fengzi said, Your Majesty, the 4 princes are all outstanding, but Nine thinks that the second prince and I are more destined. In addition to the 2 of them, the eldest prince and the second prince were also in the hall, and the third prince was traveling. Prince Zhu Exing was also there, with Dugyabo standing behind him. The second prince was very happy to hear this. If he had the support of Nine Fengzi, he would have a great chance of winning the crown prince position. What are you waiting for, Luo Qian? Hurry up and meet your teacher. Emperor Chu Ye said. Teacher. Good, good. Emperor Chu Ye, Renxue, and the second prince were all very happy, but the first prince was unhappy. Zhu Qinghe, who was not disguised by Qian Renxue, had saved his life in his life, but he could not compete with the second prince, or even the third prince. After the apprenticeship was over, Renxue suddenly talked about the genius of the spirit hall, Chu Ye. He told Emperor Chu Ye about Chu Ye's genius, and everyone was shocked. Emperor Chu Ye exclaimed, Spirit Hall has such a talented young man again. Chu Ye, the top sword weapon spirit, could it be that kid? Douluo's eyes suddenly flashed with murderous intent. Oh? Senior Douluo, does he know Chu Ye? Renxue said. Humph. This brat bullied my granddaughter. I wish I could peel off his skin. Douluo snorted coldly, and was also a little surprised. No wonder that Zhuo Yuan is so stubborn. It turns out that the boy is the holy son of the Spirit Hall. Chapter 87. Small Town Turbulence. Tiando third Prince Zwit and Douluo finally learned Chu Ye's identity, but his hatred in his heart did not diminish at all. If such a genius grows up, the Spirit Hall will have another powerful spirit master. The second prince suddenly spoke, with a deep meaning in his words. The second prince's words suddenly awakened Emperor Chu Ye. Although the ambition of the Spirit Hall has not been exposed yet, the royal family actually has a faint feeling that the threat of the Spirit Hall is getting bigger and bigger, and perhaps there will be some action in the future. Emperor Chu Ye looked at Douluo, who was a big murderess, and seemed to have an idea. It's not that he can't ask someone to assassinate Chu Ye and kill him early. On the other side, Chu Ye was already on his way to the killing city. He found a fast horse and galloped all the way. But the horse also needs to rest, he also needs to eat and sleep, so he has to stop and rest for a night every few days. On this day, Chu Ye rode the horse to a small town, ready to have a meal here before setting off. He chose a restaurant that looked pretty good and walked in. Child, bring the menu. Okay, sir, please wait a moment. Braised lion's head, fried bacon with pea tips, and oyster tofu soup, and a fruit platter will do. Chu Ye said. Okay, sir, wait a moment, I'll prepare it for you right away. Not long after, the dishes were all served. Chu Ye slowly tasted the taste of this restaurant. It was just average, not very delicious. After he was full, he paid the bill and left. Just as Chu Ye walked to the door of the restaurant, a young man was jogging in outside. Because Chu Ye walked out from the side of the door, it was a blind spot, and the two happened to bump into each other at the door. Bang! Aga! Chu Ye's body was so strong that the young man bumped into him and was knocked back by Chu Ye on the spot, falling to the ground with his butt. Sorry. Chu Ye wanted to reach out and help him up. Take it away. Unexpectedly, the young man slapped Chu Ye's hand away and said angrily, You little brat, don't you have eyes? You actually made me fall. You bumped into me rashly. It seems that you are the one who doesn't have eyes. Chu Ye's face changed. Master, are you okay? At this time, several servants ran over and helped the young man up. Seeing this, Chu Ye didn't want to get entangled with this group of people, so he walked away, but the voice of the young man came from the back again. Stop. Boy, you bumped into me, do you want to just walk away like this? Chu Ye stopped, his face was a little cold, and turned around. So? What do you want? Come here, bow your head and admit your mistake. The young man was aggressive and very strong. Chu Ye looked at the young man in front of him. He was wearing very expensive clothes and had soul power fluctuations on his body. He was a soul master. Although the servants around him were not soul masters, it seemed that the material of their clothes was not cheap, and the servants were all dressed so well. This boy's identity and status should not be simple, but when has Chu Ye ever been afraid? He shook his head and smiled, then turned and left again. The identity of this young man was indeed not simple. He was the third prince of the Tiando Empire, Zutian, the martial arts prodigy in the royal family. He was 12 years old, only about half a year older than Chu Ye. His martial spirit was the White Swan, and his current spirit power was level 24. Damn it, I told you to come here and admit your mistakes, did you hear me? Zutian roared wildly. Seeing that Chu Ye ignored him completely, he got angry on the spot. You're looking for death. Zutian rushed forward quickly and was about to punch Chu Ye in the head. Chu Ye just tilted his head slightly to avoid the fist, then turned around cleverly and punched Zutian in the stomach. Bang! Ah! Zutian screamed and fell to the ground again. damn it. Zhu Tian was dissatisfied and released his martial spirit on the spot. Martial spirit possession. A white swan appeared behind Zhu Tian. Chu Ye narrowed his eyes slightly. The martial spirit of the Tiando royal family, the white swan. This person is actually the blood of the Tiando royal family. No wonder he is so arrogant. Boy, today, I must destroy you. The first soul skill, swan feather attack. Zhu Tian's face flashed a trace of cruelty, which was obviously merciless. If a young soul master like Chu Ye was attacked by this, he would be disabled if not dead, right? Chu Ye's eyes flashed with a trace of murderous intent, and the sword of gods and demons appeared in his hand. He had reached the peak of the intermediate sword intent realm. With just a few swords, he blocked all the flying swan feathers. What? How is it possible? Zhu Tian was extremely surprised. He was 12 years old and had a soul power of level 24. This was considered a genius in the entire Tiando Empire. He was also a soul master genius that only appeared once in 100 years in the Tiando royal family, and the most talented among all the princes. When encountering soul masters of the same age, they were basically abused at will, but this boy in front of him, who looked not much different from himself, actually blocked his soul skills with just a few swords. Surprised? Chu Ye had come to him, his face cold. Not good. Zhu Tian's face was horrified. The next second. Bang. Wow. Chu Ye punched Zhu Tian in the face, sending him flying 10 meters, rolling on the ground in a mess. You. Zhu Tian's face was ferocious, and he was furious. He was the third prince of the Tiando Empire, the son of the emperor. Wherever he went, everyone was respectful to him. When had he ever been treated like this? When? Was he so embarrassed? I want you to die. Zhu Tian was furious, but he suddenly found that a cold sword was already on his neck. What did you say? Chu Ye's cold voice sounded like the whisper of the god of death. At that moment, Zhu Tian's paws were instantly horrified, as if he would be killed by a sword if he resisted a little. He was scared, and felt fear for the first time. The first bead of sweat appeared on the corners of his face. Do you know who I am? Zhu Tian looked a little scared and a little threatening. Swan Spirit, you are from the Tiando Imperial family, and the spirit masters of your Tiando Imperial family are far less talented than the evil-eyed white tiger of the Douluo Imperial family. At your age, you were a genius in the Tiando Imperial family for being able to cultivate to this level. The most amazing talent in the Tiando Imperial family is the third prince, so you're the third prince of the Tiando Empire, Zuitan. Chu Ye said the other party's identity very calmly. The Spirit Hall has a comprehensive understanding of the Tiando Imperial family and the Douluo Imperial family, so he naturally understands what talents the third prince has. Since you know me, who dares to treat me like this? So what if you are the third prince? If you dare to look at me with such eyes again, believe it or not, your head will move. What? You? Zuitan was stunned. It was the first time he met someone who was not afraid of his identity. He was completely scared. He lowered his head slightly and dared not look directly into Chu Ye's eyes again. Thanks to my friend Min Humble for his generous reward. Thank you also to all the friends who voted for me for the monthly ticket, the recommendation ticket, and the support of this book. I will continue to work hard and hope to write content that everyone likes to read. In addition, I feel that the review is getting stricter and stricter. Yesterday's post was too difficult. It was deleted several times and was finally blocked directly. Chapter 88. Do you really think I dare not kill the prince? Since you are the prince of the empire, I will spare your life today, but I advise you not to provoke me again, because this is only once. Chu Ye took back the sword of god and demon and turned to leave. It is not appropriate for the Spirit Hall to make a clear feud with the Tiando royal family now, and this town is full of people. Once he kills Zhu Tian here, everyone will know it soon. Looking at Chu Ye's back as he left, Zhu Tian suddenly raised his head, and the cowardly look just now disappeared in an instant. He stared at Chu Ye's back with murderous intent, gritting his teeth. No matter who you are dead. Go. Chu Ye rode on his horse and continued on the road. Soon, he left the town and continued to move towards the city of Slaughter. About an hour later, he came to a deserted mountain road. This kind of road section is everywhere on the continent, but Chu Ye sensed a sense of crisis here. Although he was only at the soul sect level, his mental power had already reached the level of titled Douluo. His perception of danger and the surrounding things was far better than that of ordinary soul masters. Sure enough, 6 or 7 people soon appeared in the jungle on the side. The one who led the way out was the third Prince Zhu Tian. Chu Ye shook his head speechlessly. The town had already spared his life, but he actually came here to die. Did they really think he didn't dare to kill the Prince of the Empire? Didn't I remind you? Don't provoke me. Chu Ye got off the horse and tied the hemp rope to a tree next to him very calmly, mainly because he was afraid that the battle would scare the horse away. He, I know your identity should not be simple, but I tell you, you have provoked the wrong person. Originally, you just need to bow your head and admit your mistakes to me, but you insist on seeking death. Zhu Tian had a murderous look on his face. The third prince of Tiando is really brave but not wise. Chu Ye shook his head. In fact, there is only one prince that the Spirit Hall wants to wipe out in advance, that is the second Prince Douluo Qian. It doesn't matter whether the Spirit Hall kills the other princes or not. In the town, Zhu Tian knew that Chu Ye knew his identity, but Chu Ye still treated him like this, obviously not afraid of revenge on the way. Smart people will at least guess that the identity is not simple, and there is probably someone secretly protecting behind the scenes. If he wants to kill someone, he must have found out and understood clearly, or let his men come out first, and he will hide in the dark, and then show up after he has a complete grasp of the situation. After all, this is a wilderness, not like Zhu Tian, who ran out with his men recklessly. Zhu Tian's face was ferocious, and he clenched his fists. He hated others saying that he was brave but not wise, because he was indeed not as smart as his elder and second brothers. Destroy him for me. I want him to kneel in front of me and beg for mercy. Yes. 4 of the 5 soul masters around Zhu Tian have all opened their martial souls and soul rings, and they are all foreign soul masters. 4 soul masters? Hectares, you are looking for death. Chu Ye's face was indifferent. Looking at the 4 soul masters, he was not afraid at all, and his body flashed with golden light. Angel 6 Divine Sword Technique, the first sword, Divine Sword Rain. Not good. Swish. Puff. Puff. Countless lightsabers blasted down crazily, 3 of them were killed on the spot, and there was one who was lucky enough not to die, and immediately mobilized his soul skills to attack. The first soul skill, Dark Slash. Puff. Aga. With one sword, the head was cut off. This kid is not simple, Your Highness, step back. There was another soul master who had not made a move, his face changed drastically, and he immediately released his martial soul, which was a human-shaped black bull martial soul, yellow, purple, blab, 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 7-ring soul saint, and the soul ring configuration was also top-notch. How can this kid be so strong? Zhu Tian was already scared silly, and he started to step back without the soul saint saying anything, and at the same time he shouted, "Kill him! Kill him! Soul Saint, come to think of it, I haven't really had a life and death battle with a Soul Saint level strongman." Chu Ye gradually ignited the will to fight, and under his feet, 4 rings of purple, blab, and black emerged. How is it possible? His soul ring, configuration, and he is actually a soul master. Obviously the same age as me. Zhu Tian kept shaking his head, unable to believe how could he be so talented. 5th soul skill, Black Bull Horn Strike. Angel 6 Sword Technique, the second sword. Divine Light Breaking Sky Slash. Bang. What? A mere soul master actually suppressed my power head-on. The soul saint widened his eyes, and the next second, boom, he was blasted back on the spot, blood slowly flowing from the corner of his mouth. 7th soul skill, Black Bull True Body. Seeing this, the soul saint directly activated the martial soul True Body, and his aura began to rise rapidly. The reason why the soul saint is far stronger than the soul empire is this martial soul True Body. Chu Ye did not take it lightly, and the wings of the dragon god attached to his back emerged, and his attributes in all aspects began to strengthen. 2nd soul skill, God and Demon Sword Body. Strength, speed, physique, and power rose again. The 1st soul skill, Black Bull Berserk. The soul saint also activated the enhanced amplification skill. He punched hard like a wild beast. Chu Ye flapped his wings and soared into the air, and a sword fell from the sky. Bang. Ugh. The soul saint resisted, and his body was bombarded by the huge force, causing his legs to almost sink into the yellow earth, his face embarrassed. So strong. This kid is too strong. Whose descendant is he? The soul saint was a little terrified, because he felt that he might not be Chu Ye's opponent. For the safety of the prince he had to shout, "Your Highness Zhu Tian. Go. It is very likely that I am not his opponent. Damn it. Damn it." Zhu Tian was extremely unwilling and terrified, so he quickly turned around and fled. Soul Sant resisted with all his might, but seeing that Zhu Tian was about to escape, Chu Ye also planned to make a real move, and he struck a fusion of light and darkness to repel Soul Sant. The fourth black ring emerged. The fourth soul skill, the destruction of gods, demons and evil gods. Roar. 6 evil tigers with 6 attributes, evil, darkness, space, time, lightning, and wind, were swung out by Chu Ye's sword. Feeling the terrifying aura of the evil tigers, Soul Sant was terrified. Why did the fourth soul skill look so terrifying? Just kidding, this was obtained by the dark demon evil god tiger, which was not inferior to the 100,000-year soul ring. He decisively released the 6th soul skill to resist. Black bull-eyed shield. Defensive soul skill. The time tiger hit the Soul Sant first, and his body was instantly frozen and unable to move. Then, wind, evil, darkness, lightning, space, all hit. Ah! A scream rang out, and the Soul Sant fell to the ground on the spot, dying, with only 1 breath left. Chu Ye glanced at him and quickly chased after Zhu Tian. Don't come over. Don't come over. Zhu Tian screamed in despair as he ran. Because he was too scared, he ran, and he fell down. The fall made his legs weak and he couldn't stand up. He looked back and found that Chu Ye had caught up with him. Zhu Tian sat on the ground, kicking his feet forward and backing away in fear. His crotch was already wet, and sour and smelly liquid flowed out of his trouser legs. He was extremely scared and screamed for mercy. Don't kill me. Please, I was wrong. Don't kill me. Chapter 89. City of Slaughter. Bye-bye Dong's threat, I said, only this time. Chu Ye had a blank expression on his face, slowly raising the sword in his hand. No. Don't. I'm the 3rd prince of the Tiando Empire, Zhu Tian. If you dare, puff. I'll, you. Zhu Tian hadn't finished speaking when Chu Ye slashed his throat with a sword. You killed the 3rd prince, do you know what this means? No matter how powerful the forces behind you are, you'll definitely bear the wrath of the Tiando Empire. The dying Soul Sant said with a pale face. Chu Ye turned around and walked towards the Soul Sant. In this wilderness, who can prove that I killed the 3rd prince? The next second, Chu Ye also killed the dying Soul Sant with a sword. Then he released the Phoenix Fire, burned the bones of these people cleanly, erased the traces and clues that might be found, and then rode away. Even if the Tiando Empire could infer that Chu Ye killed Zhu Tian, they had no witnesses or physical evidence, and the Empire could not do anything to Chu Ye, the son of the Spirit Hall. Having irrefutable evidence is completely different from just guessing who did it. After several days, Chu Ye arrived at a dead town. We finally arrived at the Slaughter City. This town is the entrance to the Slaughter City. At the same time, Bai Dong arrived at the Slaughter City in advance. She personally warned the King of Slaughter, my apprentice will come here soon to train. I think you should know what to do, right? Hehe, I won't target your apprentice, but if he dies on the stage of the Hell Slaughter field, it's not my fault. The King of Slaughter was still quite afraid of Bai Dong. Remember what you said. If my apprentice gets hurt because of your methods, I will make you, the Slaughter City, pay a heavy price. Bai Dong's terrifying murderous intent rose, and the next second, it disappeared instantly. What a terrible woman. The King of Slaughter was very afraid. On the other side, the Tiando Empire had learned of the death of the 3rd Prince Zhu Tian. Your Majesty. Your Majesty. Something terrible has happened. His Highness Zhu Tian, he was murdered. What? Zhu Tian. Emperor Zhu Ye almost lost his seat and fell off the throne. This news was like a bolt from the blue, making him look sad and angry. Who did it? What happened? Tell the truth. Your Highness Zhu Tian had a conflict with a boy of the same age in Bailing Town. Your Highness suffered a great loss, so he took the Soul Masters who followed him to catch up with the boy, but the result, all died, not a single one survived. How can this be? Tian. Emperor Zhu Ye was extremely sad and angry, his body trembling slightly, and said, who is that boy? What does he look like? Dare to kill the Prince of the Empire. The person who reported this matter, through the townspeople who had seen Chu Ye in the town at the time, roughly described Chu Ye's appearance. The more Emperor Zhu Ye listened, the more he felt that he was like the holy son of the Spirit Hall, Chu Ye, who Nine Fengzi mentioned to him a few days ago. Send someone to check it out. At this moment, Chu Ye has already stepped into the town that serves as the entrance to the Slaughter City. This is a lifeless and gloomy town. From time to time, you can see skeletons one after another on the road. Some listless people, like zombies, wandering on the streets, muttering 3 words, I'm Quan Lu. No need for Bloody Mary here. I'm Quan Lu. I'm Quan Lu is an indispensable drink in the slaughter city. It is addictive, but it can also suppress the uncontrollable killing intent in the slaughter city. It is something that every fallen person must drink. But it is also a chronic poison. If you drink too much, you'll die sooner or later, but if you don't drink it, you will not be able to control the killing intent and even become a madman. However, Chu Ye is not worried. Before he came, Bai Bai Dong reminded him that his light attribute can clear and suppress the killing aura in the slaughter city. As long as he doesn't kill too many people at once, there will be no problem. Creak. The sound of the wooden door being pushed open. Chu Ye walked into the only tavern in the town, which was the entrance to the city of slaughter. To enter the city of slaughter, one must drink a cup of yellow spring dew, which was the most basic condition for entering the city, but Chu Ye knew what this thing was. It was made from human blood. He didn't want to drink this kind of thing. So Chu Ye walked directly to the clerk's door, put a sword on his neck, and said coldly, "Open the entrance to the city of slaughter." "I don't know what you are talking about." The clerk was very panicked. He had never seen such a tough person. As soon as he came in, he put his knack on him. "Don't know. Do you want your head to fall off?" Chu Ye's body was filled with terrible sword intent and murderous intent. The clerk was terrified. You have already violated the rules of the city of slaughter. Even if I open the entrance, it will be difficult for you to enter the city. He knew that entering the city of slaughter by improper means would require him to accept the test of the generals guarding the city gate and the Terror Knight. "It's none of your business, you just need to open the entrance." "I'll open it. I'll open it. Spare my life, young man." Chu Ye's sword had already cut his skin. The clerk didn't dare to delay and immediately opened the entrance. The city of slaughter, Chu Ye smiled and jumped into it. This corridor was like a space transmission, and the next second, he appeared outside the gate of the city of slaughter. In front of him was a stone bridge, and at the end of the bridge was the city gate. Chu Ye saw a huge city surrounded by high walls on all sides. This was the city of slaughter. There was a red full moon in the sky, and the whole sky was also red. There was no sun, no night black, only this red night, gloomy and gloomy. He didn't need to enter the city, he could already smell and feel the breath of blood and killing standing here. This made Chu Ye feel very comfortable. If it weren't for getting the domain of the god of slaughter, he wouldn't want to come to such a place. "I am Scott, the Horror Knight. You have violated the rules of the slaughter city. You'll have the qualification to enter the slaughter city only if you defeat me." At this time, a knight riding a black warhorse appeared in front of Chu Ye. He was wearing armor and holding a long sword, with an imposing aura. "Don't block the way." Chu Ye released the sword of gods and demons. The two looked at each other and rushed at the same time. They both swung out a terrifying sword at the same time. Ding! Bang! Scott, the Horror Knight, was chopped off his horse by Chu Ye's sword. Ding! Whoosh whoosh whoosh! Bang! Scott's sword also fell to the ground, and Chu Ye stood straight. The other party looked a little afraid. This young man. He retracted his gaze, threw out a token, and said, "You passed." Chu Ye took the token and looked at it. The number on it was 6,666. 4 sixes, not bad, it's the number I like. Chu Ye accepted the token and turned towards the city gate. Rumble, the city gate also opened. A woman wearing a black veil came out wiggling her buttocks. Chapter 90. The City of Slaughter, the Scheming of the Veiled Woman. Welcome to the Killing City. The woman's voice sounded, and the next second, her figure flashed strangely to Chu Ye's side and made a gesture of invitation. "I'm your guide." The woman's voice was very pleasant, explaining, "You're in the novice protection period for 12 hours, and I will also answer all your questions. Do you have anything I can answer?" The veiled woman said as she led Chu Ye away. She was mentally prepared to answer Chu Ye's questions and was waiting. "I don't have any questions to ask, just take me to the hell-killing field," Chu Ye said. "What?" The veiled woman was stunned and a little confused. Others usually come in with all kinds of questions, such as how the killing city was formed, whether soul power can be used, what are the rules, how to get out, etc. But this young man didn't ask anything and wanted to go to the hell-killing field. He was looking for death. I have never seen anyone so anxious. "Don't you have any questions for me?" Chu Ye glanced at her. "How about I give you a favor and ask you a few questions?" The veiled woman rolled her eyes. No need. So, are you sure you want to go directly to the hell-killing field? Only 1 in 10 people can come out alive from the competition there. Everyone is forced to went to the hell-killing field once a year to compete. Those who survive can live in the killing city for another year. You can stay here for a year before going. The veiled woman said. Take me there. What an arrogant and self-righteous young man, I want to see how many games you can survive. Hectares. The veiled woman flashed an imperceptible sneer at the corner of her mouth. She said no more and took Chu Ye all the way to the hell-killing field. Chu Ye came here for only one purpose, that is to complete the 100-game winning streak in the hell-killing field, and then break through the hell road, obtain the killing god domain and leave here. He didn't want to waste too much time here. Because the speed of soul power improvement in the slaughter city is too slow, although after killing others, you can absorb part of the soul power of others to improve, but this effect is minimal. Tang-san upgrades 1 level in 2 years. As for the rules of the slaughter city, Chu Ye also knows most of the things here, so there is no need to ask more. The slaughter city is divided into the outer city and the inner city. In the outer city, you can be protected to a certain extent, but in the inner city, it is a real paradise of sin. When Chu Ye stepped into the inner city, fighting were almost everywhere on the streets. He also saw many female degenerates being pressed to the ground and violated by a group of men. Chu Ye did not pity them. These degenerates also asked for it, and in the slaughter city, he did not allow himself to have a trace of mercy. Seeing that Chu Ye could face everything around him so calmly, the veiled woman was a little surprised. She felt more and more that this young man was unusual. And looking at Chu Ye carefully, the veiled woman felt more and more that this young man was very handsome, with a perfect figure, shape, and lines. Except for being a little younger, there is almost nothing wrong with him. He is simply a top-notch boy. He must be very good. How the veiled woman immediately became lustful. She seemed to have never tasted such a young and top-notch handsome boy. Do you think that only men like 18-year-old girls? Women also like young brothers. The veiled woman felt more and more that it was a pity to let Chu Ye die in the killing field of hell. At least let her enjoy herself before dying. How the veiled woman suddenly laughed charmingly. Her hands began to become dishonest. She slowly put them on Chu Ye's arms, gently and charmingly stroking them, and her cheek gradually moved towards Chu Ye's neck. What do you want to do? Chu Ye glanced coldly at this woman who was making trouble. She was wearing a black dress, very sexy, and her skirt was very short, almost revealing everything. Her skin was also very white, and her face was covered with thick smoky makeup. She was considered a beauty. But she exuded a smell that Chu Ye hated very much, a smell that tried to cover up the bloody body with perfume, and then mixed with stench. You look so handsome. Before you went to the killing field of hell, do you want me to accompany you to relax? The veiled woman became more and more charming, and she slightly pulled up her skirt. Slowly stretched out her tongue and lipped it at the edge of her mouth, trying to seduce Chu Ye with her beauty. However, she only got Chu Ye's cold voice. Except for the king of killing, you should have been flagged by many people, right? The veiled woman was a little unhappy when she heard it, but she still said very charmingly, "What's wrong, do you mind?" After that, her tongue continued to stretch towards Chu Ye's neck. Chu Ye's eyes instantly rose with murderous intent, and he said coldly, "I advise you to take your tongue back immediately and get out of my body." Humph. You don't know what's good for you. The veiled woman immediately lost interest and left Chu Ye's body. Chu Ye glanced at her, so that Qian Renxue knew that he had a little idea about this kind of woman, and he would not cut himself when he went back. A moment later, Chu Ye finally arrived at the hell-killing field. He said to the veiled woman, "I no longer need the novice protection zone for 12 hours, so, you can go." Are you sure? Didn't you see that many people around are staring at you? Fresh meat like you is very popular in our killing city. The veiled woman said. I'm sure. Humph, then please. The veiled woman snorted coldly, twisted her hips and turned away. As soon as she left, a fallen person around her really wanted to kill Chu Ye. Young man, let me taste the taste of young blood, ha ha ha. The man licked his tongue and waved his long knife to slash. Then I'll start with you. However, the next second, his neck was instantly cut off by Chu Ye's sword, poof. The head fell to the ground, blood splattered. Chu Ye wiped the blood on the sword of gods and demons very calmly, and turned away. The fallen ones who were still staring at him were dumbfounded. The veiled woman was also shocked. This kid, he actually killed him with one sword. This guy has won 10 games in a row in the hell-killing field. You know, if you win 16 games in a row in the Killing City, you can be ranked in the top 100, and 10 consecutive wins are already a powerful person. No wonder he is so arrogant. It turns out that this kid has some strength. The veiled woman looked at Chu Ye entering the killing field and decided to follow him to see. I want to sign up. Chu Ye went straight to the front desk and said to the receptionist. Okay, take it, please come this way. The receptionist gave Chu Ye a competition card. After he took it, he found a seat and sat down, waiting for the number of people to gather. A moment later, the announcement sounded in the hell killing field. Please come on stage to participate. Sorry, I have something to update late today. Chapter 91. Qian Renxue and Bai Dong's conversation, subtle changes in the mother-daughter relationship. It's my turn at last. Chu Ye slowly stood up from the sofa and walked towards the stage step by step. His journey to the city of slaughter officially began. Soon, Chu Ye was standing on the stage. In the game of the hell killing field, there are 10 participants. In the end, only one person can survive from the stage and kill all the people fighting on the same stage to win. It can be said that it is a life or death game, which is very cruel. At the same time, some powerful people are also easily targeted by the other 9 people, who join forces to kill them first, forming a 9-to-1 situation. This is why there are very few people with a high winning streak. And as the number of winning streaks increases, the winning streak of the opponents on the same stage will also increase. The later it goes, the stronger the opponents you will encounter will basically be. Therefore, there were very few people who were able to win 100 consecutive games in the past few years. Those who can do it all have the absolute strength of 1 against 9. Chu Ye just played the first game, and he can almost easily handle this kind of game. The competition begins. All the participants were a group of novices, and it was their first time to participate in the competition. No one knew who was stronger. From the beginning, it was a chaotic battle. In the chaotic situation, Chu Ye could kill them more easily. Puff. Chu Ye pierced a person's heart with a sword and started his slaughter. In a few seconds, 5 people died at his feet. The remaining 4 realized Chu Ye's strength and began to join forces. For a while, the situation became 1 against 4. Let's go together. Chu Ye smiled evilly. Between the flashes of swords and shadows, 2 people were killed in an instant, and the remaining 2 swung their swords at the same time. Ding! What? After the 2 swords touched the sword of gods and demons, they broke on the spot. How can your weapons compete with my sword of gods and demons? Chu Ye chopped off another person's head with a sword, and his other hand instantly grabbed the opponent's neck. He squeezed hard. Puff. The opponent's neck was directly crushed by Chu Ye's palm, and then thrown aside. The announcement sounded again. 6666 wins. Chu Ye won the first victory easily, and even the external soul bone, sword intent, soul bone and so on were not used at all. He began to absorb the soul power of these dead people, and at the same time, his murderous aura and killing intent were also growing. That's right, every time you kill a person here, the murderous aura will increase. Only after the murderous aura is accumulated to a certain extent and you break out of the hell road, will the accumulated murderous aura be condensed into the killing god domain. It won't work without this as a prelude. It doesn't mean that you can condense the killing god domain as soon as you come in and break through the hell road. Therefore, Chu Ye needs to settle here for a while. Besides, the hell killing field can only be played once a day. Even if he is faster, it will take more than 3 months to complete 1 game a day. 66 wins, 2 consecutive wins. 66 wins, 3 consecutive wins. In this way, Chu Ye spent 3 days in the killing city. In addition to the game in the hell killing field, it is actually equally dangerous outside, facing the pursuit and battle of a large number of fallen people. Fighting on the field, fighting off the field, even in the middle of the night, someone would sneak in and want to kill Chu Ye, almost living in the midst of killing. In this environment, it is easy for people to lose themselves. In just 3 days, more than 50 people died at Chu Ye's hands, and the murderous aura on him became heavier and heavier. At the same time, Bai Dong, who was returning to the spirit hall, actually met Qian Renxue who was chasing Chu Ye on the road. Where are you going? Bai Dong appeared in front of Qian Renxue and asked. You don't need to take care of my business. Qian Renxue didn't expect to meet Bai Dong. She replied, then passed by and walked away. When the mother and daughter met, neither of them had a good attitude. This is normal. The relationship between them was originally very stiff, and there was no mother-daughter relationship at all. Bai Dong never cared much about Qian Renxue. But this time Bai Bai Dong actually cared, because she knew very well that Qian Renxue was different from everyone else. Her identity appeared there, which was more dangerous than anyone else. You shouldn't go to the slaughter city. It's not suitable for you. Go back. I said, you don't need to care about my business. Qian Renxue emphasized again. Do you know how many of the people in the slaughter city were forced into a desperate situation by the spirit hall? How many people hate and despise our spirit hall? And you were a descendant of the six-winged angel lineage, a symbol of the spirit master's faith of the spirit hall. Once you expose the six-winged angel spirit there, you will be hunted down by a large number of fallen people. It's almost impossible for you to walk out alive. Bai Bai Dong had never said such words to Qian Renxue in such a tone and attitude. In the past, it was very plain, so plain that there seemed to be no blood relationship between the two. Qian Renxue was very surprised. She noticed the emotion in Bai Bai Dong's tone, which was a kind of concern and even more of a worry. Even though it was difficult to feel, she felt this from Bai Bai Dong for the first time. You have never taken care of me, and I don't need you to take care of me now. What do you mean by telling me this now? Why are you worried about me? Qian Renxue turned sideways and looked at the woman behind her who made people love and hate her. With a bit of self-mockery, she said again, you're actually worried about me too? Bai Bai Dong also realized that her attitude towards Qian Renxue was a little different from before, because she felt that Qian Renxue would most likely die if she went in. And only when it comes to life and death, or when something or a person is about to really lose it, the deepest feelings in a person's heart will be aroused. Bai Bai Dong was unwilling to admit this, and said disapprovingly, Hehe, I'm just worried that if you die in the city of slaughter, your grandfather will make trouble for me. Hearing Bai Bai Dong's answer, Qian Renxue was very disappointed for some reason, stubborn and a little angry. Then don't worry, I will definitely come out alive. After that, Qian Renxue took another step and left. You're looking at Qian Renxue's back. Bai Bai Dong finally took back the words that were on the tip of her tongue. She shook her head and said, then it's up to you. After that, she turned and left. Chu Ye was in the slaughter city, and the two of them took care of each other. Bai Bai Dong thought about it carefully and felt that there was no big problem. But she felt vaguely uneasy in her heart. At this moment, her love for Qian Renxue seemed to exceed her hatred. And the relationship between the mother and daughter seemed to have undergone very subtle changes. A few days later, Qian Renxue finally arrived at the slaughter city. She was not stupid. She naturally understood what Bai Bai Dong said, so before finding Chu Ye, Qian Renxue would not expose her six-winged angel spirit. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 92. The City of Slaughter, a great place for killing people. Qian Renxue has a way to hide this, that is, the inherited soul bone of their six-winged angel family, one of which has the skill of camouflage. Not only can it camouflage the body, but also the martial soul. This is why the infiltration plan, the lurking in the Tiando Palace, must be carried out by Qian Renxue. Only she can perfectly lurk in the palace, and then replace one of the princes to seize power. On the other hand, Chu Ye has completed 7 consecutive games, winning 1 game every day, 7 consecutive wins in 7 days, which is unprecedented in the history of the Killing City. No one has ever played so fast. It's not that others can't do it, but no one chooses to participate in the competition at such a frequency. Chu Ye has undoubtedly become an outlier in the Killing City. Therefore, he is too popular and is targeted by many fallen people, which also makes many powerful fallen people feel fearful. Among them, there are 3 strong men who have won more than 30 games in a row. They are eyeing Chu Ye and plan to join forces to eliminate Chu Ye. At this moment, Chu Ye just walked out of the hell-killing field and realized that something was wrong. There are many people hiding around him who were murderous. He encountered this kind of situation almost every day, but today, it was particularly different, because the opponent's position and layout seemed to be carefully arranged. There was a sense of organization. Tonight seems to be different from last night. Chu Ye's face was calm. Even if he didn't deliberately release the killing intent, he already gave people a strong sense of murderous aura. Because until now, the number of people who died in his hands has been close to 200. He's out. Oh, no hurry, wait until he leaves the hell-killing field for a distance before you do it. The people in the dark communicated. The hell-killing field is the only place where killing is prohibited and fighting is indiscriminate. It seems that today is going to be a big killing, huh? Chu Ye's mouth corners rose slightly. His mental power had already captured every hiding point of the opponent. In front of him, these people were hiding or not hiding. He struggled forward and slowly left the hell-killing field. The people in the dark moved cautiously and orderly, following Chu Ye's departure. Almost ready, get ready. Tonight, we must kill this kid. The people in the dark began to prepare, but at this moment, Chu Ye took action first, and a divine light breaking the air blasted towards one of the three people who had won more than 30 games in a row. The golden lightsaber shone for the first time in this red night. The terrifying power directly destroyed the opponent's house as a shelter, and the man was killed on the spot. What? How is this possible? How can this kid use a soul skill? That's not a soul skill, there is no fluctuation of the soul ring. Chu Ye's sword directly disrupted the opponent's formation in an instant, and everyone was extremely shocked by the light slash. Divine light breaking the air slash is one of the 6 divine swordsmanship of angels, and it is a unique skill. The City of Slaughter is only the use of the soul ring soul skill, but it does not affect the skills formed by the martial soul and soul power, and the soul bone skills. And until now, he has only exposed a small trump card of sword intent. Damn it. Everyone, come together. Ah. In an instant, all the people hiding in the dark came out collectively, and the number exceeded 100. You have provoked the wrong person. Chu Ye's murderous aura was completely released, and his breath began to rise. God and Demon Sword Intention. Dragon God Wings. The colorful dragon wings appeared in his hand. He held the God and Demon Sword in his hand, like a killing god, and began to slaughter hundreds of fallen people crazily. Die. Puff. With one sword swing, the head was cut off and blood flowed. Die. You. Almost die. Puff. Puff. Ah. Various screams began to resound miserably in this area, and one after another died under his sword. Ruthless, every sword hit the vital point, killing the opponent with deadly means. This is what Chu Ye has learned during this period of time, fighting with the goal of killing the enemy. Now he understands this more and has a new understanding of fighting. Not long after, nearly half of the people died under his sword. Ha ha ha. Come on. Keep coming. What, are you scared? Huh. Chu Ye held the sword of God and demon in his hand and killed like crazy. People from all directions surrounded him, but they were afraid. For a moment, they hesitated for several seconds, and no one dared to step forward. Chu Ye did not realize that his emotions were affected by the excessive murderous aura of killing. Moteng. Rest. At this time, there were still 2 strong men who had won more than 30 consecutive games. One of them issued a skill similar to a soul skill. 2 black vines crawled at a weird speed and successfully bound him. HMPH. I caught him. Don't be afraid. Killed him. Huh. Chu Ye glanced at the person who launched the skill, and suddenly found that the soul bone fluctuation appeared on his right leg because of the release of the skill. Oh, yes. I actually forgot that this is a good place to kill people and explode soul bones. Chu Ye's face was not panicked, but instead showed an excited look, an evil smile, and a greedy look. The man panicked and shouted, quick. Killed him. Killed him. Quick. Ha. People came from all directions. This was a good time to wipe out the whole group. Divine light sword rain. Swish, swish, swish. Bang, 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 bang. In an instant, dozens of people were killed by Chu Ye with one blow. A large amount of murderous aura began to collectively flow into Chu Ye's body. The blood around him had already flowed like a river, and there were corpses everywhere. His killing intent became stronger and stronger, and he also realized that he had been affected by the killing intent. But he had to deal with the less than 10 people left. He also made everyone understand that there was only one result for those who targeted him, and that was death. Only in this way, the number of people who dared to provoke him would decrease. Monster. This kid is a monster. Run. Run. The remaining people had no fighting spirit and only fled in fear. None of you can escape. Die. Puff. Ah. Chu Ye instantly caught up with one person, cut off his legs with a sword, and punched the head of the person on the ground. Bang. Headshot on the spot. He continued to chase and kill, targeting the man with the soul bone. This man had won more than 30 games in a row and had a soul bone, and his own strength had reached the soul empire realm. After a few moves with Chu Ye, he was finally killed by him, and the soul bone on his body was peeled off. It was a 2,000-year-old soul bone. Yes, after absorbing this piece, my phoenix will be exactly 70,000 years old. Chu Ye accepted the soul bone and continued to chase the remaining few people. Every time he killed a person, his murderous aura would increase by 1 point. When he killed the last person, his murderous intent was already difficult to control. Coupled with the stimulation of the soul bone, Chu Ye now only wanted to kill more people and explode the soul bone. Chapter 93. Open the secret letter form and slash the city of killing. The light attribute of the sword of gods and demons can suppress and eliminate the influence of the murderous aura of the slaughter city on emotions, but the dark attribute also enhances the influence of the murderous aura on emotions. The killing intent has made Chu Ye behave irrationally. He began to specifically target those powerful fallen ones, killing people and exploding bones. More and more people began to die under his sword. Until Chu Ye exploded a 3,000-year-old soul bone again, he was completely crazy about killing. Crazy. This kid is crazy. He is killing people everywhere. Devil. He is the devil. Run. All the fallen ones who have won 10 consecutive games were terrified and fled in panic. The inner city of the slaughter city was completely disrupted by Chu Ye and fell into panic. The veiled woman watched all this from afar and was extremely surprised. She didn't expect Chu Ye's strength to be so terrifying. Die. Blood had already stained Chu Ye's whole body. He had slaughtered many people again. But at this time, the fallen no longer fled in panic, but began to gather a group of fallen under the call of a powerful man nicknamed Bloodthirsty King, who had won 70 games in a row and ranked in the top 10 of the hell-killing field. In the killing city, some powerful people, in addition to the number representing their identity, will also be given a certain title, such as Bloodthirsty King. Hundreds of people gathered around again, intending to surround and kill Chu Ye from all directions. Chu Ye stood in the middle of the crowd, holding a sword in his hand, not afraid at all, and even felt excited because of their attack. Another group of people are coming to die. You are the one who is going to die. Hectares, I am called the Bloodthirsty King, but I am not as crazy as you. Boy, your behavior will only bring disaster to yourself. The Bloodthirsty King sneered. Really? Then let's see if you guys have the ability to kill me. Chu Ye smiled evilly, and at this moment he exuded a strong black demonic aura. The extreme darkness was similar to the last time he killed the dark demon Evil Tiger, and his body was shrouded in darkness. The terrible breath has already made everyone feel afraid. At this time, the voice of Nksin sounded again in Chu Ye's mind. Nksin. I am the night. The darkness faded, and Chu Ye's appearance changed again. He had dense red hair, glowing red eyes, a black suit, holding a dark magic sword, and black and red gas around him. The only feeling that emanated from his whole body was evil, demonic, violent, and murderous. The Nksin form and this killing city were a perfect match. It was very frightening, and this was the first time Chu Ye activated the Nksin form. Now, it will be my hunting time, Hilly. Chu Ye's voice was full of demonic nature, as if he had turned into a demon. Fearless charge. Chu Ye disappeared instantly, and when everyone reacted, someone had been killed by him instantly. Fearless charge, the second skill of the Nksin form, is a skill that increases speed and attack speed. In this state, Chu Ye's speed will reach its peak. Puff. 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 Chu Ye split the opponent's chest with a sword, and the dark magic sword slashed at the opponent's body frantically, slashing wildly, and the soul power on the opponent's body began to be absorbed by him. This move is the third skill. While killing the enemy, it can also absorb the opponent's soul power to restore its own soul power and physical state. In a few seconds, the man in front of him was chopped into a bloody mess. Shadow burst. Puff. For a moment, dozens of people were torn into pieces by the blood-red dark energy rising from the ground around Chu Ye. The scene was extremely bloody. Shadow Burst, the fourth skill, is also the ultimate move. A ranged group attack skill with a short-term control ability. The whole audience fell into panic again, and with Chu Ye's massacre, everyone began to flee in a hurry again, completely scared. Chu Ye chased after him and slashed wildly. The power of the Dark Faith form is about madness, slashing, and even the faster you slash, the faster your soul power and physical strength will recover. The Dark Faith form represents darkness, which is full of murderous intent and belongs to the path of evil. In this form, Chu Ye's emotions were affected again. He could no longer control himself. He killed and lost his mind. Die. Die. Chu Ye hacked wildly. More and more people died under his sword. He no longer distinguished between enemies and hacked anyone he saw. The entire slaughter city was within his slaughter range. Soul bones fell piece by piece, some for hundreds of years, some for thousands of years. He was completely crazy. Help! Help! Let me leave here. I don't want to stay in the slaughter city. It's too scary. Too scary. Ah! The screams resounded throughout the red night. Great King of Slaughter, 6666, he has already slaughtered hundreds of people. If he continues, the people of our slaughter city will suffer great losses. This boy's strength is too terrifying. I'm afraid no one can stop him from completing 100 consecutive victories. By then, our slaughter city will have another god of slaughter. Why not, for the slaughter city? In fact, the last thing they want is to increase the number of gods of slaughter. Shut up. The King of Slaughter said with a gloomy face. Do you know who sent this kid? No matter how he makes trouble, our people can't hurt him. Who is he? The veiled woman was very puzzled. He is the apprentice of that woman. What? It turned out to be her. The veiled woman finally had a look of fear on her face. Raging blade. Puff. Ah. Here, the powerful bloodthirsty king finally died under Chu Ye's sword, and a piece of 10,000-year soul bone unexpectedly burst out from his body. He continued to kill, but at this moment, suddenly, a sound of winning and losing sounded behind Chu Ye. Stop. Chu Ye, look at what you have become, stop now. Chu Ye was stunned, stopped, and slowly turned around. He saw Qian Renxue's figure. His murderous intent gradually faded, and his emotions were not affected by the murderous aura bit by bit. The dark later form disappeared. Chu Ye. Why are you here? Qian Renxue breathed a sigh of relief and threw herself into Chu Ye's arms. Chu Ye, it's dirty. Chu Ye wanted to push Qian Renxue away because his body was covered with blood from different people. Qian Renxue didn't care, and didn't mind, hugging Chu Ye tightly. Very angry and anxious, she punched Chu Ye's chest with her little fist, looking a little anxious and crying, while punching and blaming. What's wrong with you? What's wrong? Didn't you promise me that you would come out of the killing city properly? What are you doing now? If I hadn't appeared in time, you would have completely become a killing machine. I'm sorry, Chu Ye. Chu Ye completely regained his sanity and felt a little ashamed. Chapter 94 Chu Ye. I was wrong about my wife. Shy Qian Renxue. My wife. Chapter 94 Chu Ye. I was wrong, wife. Shy Qian Renxue. Wife. Chu Ye naturally knew that in the city of slaughter, if too many people were killed at once, too much murderous aura would flow in at the same time, which would cause problems, or even be completely controlled by the killing intent and lose himself. However, Chu Ye actually used the light attribute to suppress the murderous aura every day, but he did not expect that the dark attribute of the sword of gods and demons could accelerate the influence of the murderous aura, which ultimately led to today's difficulty in control. Is it useful to be sorry? In the future, you are not allowed to make me worry again. Got it. Qian Renxue said angrily. I know, I was wrong, wife, I promise you. I will never dare to do it again. Seeing Qian Renxue angry, Chu Ye quickly admitted his mistake. Wife? Qian Renxue blushed, and she was no longer angry in an instant. Instead, she was instantly occupied by sweetness, because this was the first time Chu Ye called her wife. Although her heart had been sweet for a long time, she could not soften instantly because of Chu Ye's words of wife. Still with a little bit of anger, he said, HMPH. It's good that you know you're wrong. Then, Qian Renxue's mood finally softened a little. Okay, let's leave here and find a quiet place. I'll suppress your murderous aura for you. Chu Ye nodded obediently. Yeah. Let's go. Qian Renxue took Chu Ye's hand and quickly disappeared with him. Then the two entered an empty floor. Qian Renxue first carefully and gently cleaned up Chu Ye's external injuries. Looking at Qian Renxue who was treating his wounds, Chu Ye's mouth showed tenderness for the first time in a long time. Chu Ye, it's great to have you by my side. You don't know how uncomfortable I am without you during this period of time, how lonely I am. I miss you so much, come and kiss me. HMPH, stop talking nonsense, lie down obediently and don't move. The wound has not been treated yet. Qian Renxue shyly pushed Chu Ye and continued to treat the wound. Chu Ye stopped moving and lay quietly, letting Qian Renxue deal with it. He was silent for several seconds before continuing, but, you really shouldn't have come to the city of slaughter. I know. You were going to say that the murderous aura of the City of Slaughter will have an effect on my angel martial spirit, right? Yes. Chu Ye nodded. Qian Renxue didn't understand. But, what will be the impact? Will the murderous aura affect the light attribute of my six-winged angel? Will it prevent me from evolving to six wings? Chu Ye's expression became serious, and he planned to tell Qian Renxue everything he knew today. Neither, but the murderous aura and the killing god domain may affect your inheritance of the angel godhood. Angel godhood? Qian Renxue was stunned, shook her head and said, since our ancestor the god of angels, no descendant of our six-winged angel lineage has been able to obtain the 9th test of an angel. Even my grandfather, who was so powerful, was only at the 8th test of an angel and became a great worshipper. How can I be better than Grandpa? Therefore, I will probably not be able to reach the level of the 9th test of an angel. Even if the murderous aura really has an impact, so what? Chu Ye, you underestimate yourself too much. Not only are you better than your grandfather, you'll definitely be able to obtain the 9th test of an angel. Seeing Chu Ye's firm eyes and words, Qian Renxue was a little convinced that she could really do it. She asked, okay, even if I can obtain the 9 tests of the angel and inherit the throne of the angel, what effect will the murderous aura have on my test? Chu Ye said, the dark attribute exists deep in your six-winged angel martial soul. Dark attribute? Yes, the six-winged angel martial soul bestowed by God in your lineage actually has dark attributes and a dark side, but the light attribute suppresses the darkness almost to nothing, making it almost impossible for you to sense it. But when you inherit the 9 tests of the angel and touch the artifact left by the god of angels, the dark attribute deep in the martial soul will be infinitely magnified through the dark side of your heart, and eventually form a dark personality. I call her the dark six-winged angel, the fallen angel. She will fight against you in the process of pulling out the artifact. Once you are defeated by the dark personality, your six-winged angel with light attributes will become a dark six-winged angel, and you will be occupied by the dark personality. Murderous aura, the domain of the god of killing, will undoubtedly make your dark side stronger, so you should understand what I mean. Chu Ye stopped talking. Why didn't Grandpa tell me this? Qian Renxue couldn't imagine what Chu Ye said, but she believed in Chu Ye and was a little dazed for a moment. Chu Ye smiled helplessly. Didn't you just say that, except for the angel god, none of your six-winged angels have ever seen the angel 9 trials? If you haven't seen them, how can you know? But how did you know? Qian Renxue couldn't help asking. From the incredible power of the life and death contract to the two of them getting along, she found that Chu Ye knew a lot of things. Sometimes, it seemed that he had the ability to predict the future. She actually wanted to ask. Chu Ye couldn't tell Qian Renxue the truth, so he could only say this. I don't know either. Since I awakened my martial soul, my brain seemed to carry the memory of a person. It was those memories that made me understand these. Okay, I understand, but I'm already here. No matter what, it can't be changed, right? If it really comes to the time, I can only do my best to overcome the dark side. Qian Renxue is still quite optimistic. The bridge will naturally be straight to the go, and there will always be a solution. Alas. Chu Ye sighed in his heart. Now that things have come to this, he no longer said anything and nodded. Since you have entered the City of Slaughter, let's work together to get out. We can solve the future things later. Well, you are too murderous now. You need to stop killing for a while. You don't need to participate in the hell-killing field within half a month. Qian Renxue said. Then he released the six-winged angel martial spirit. Now, I will mobilize my light attribute to suppress the murderous aura for you. Well, I listened to my wife, Hilly. Chu Ye grinned. I'm not your wife yet. Qian Renxue blushed again and said shyly. It's a matter of time. We haven't gotten married yet. Qian Renxue became more and more shy as she spoke. Chu Ye, do you remember what I told you back then? When you come of age, I will take you to be my wife in a sedan chair. Qian Renxue covered her mouth and smiled. Well, at the time I said you were dreaming and called you a hooligan. Haha, what about now? I won't tell you the two of them were flirting and the atmosphere was very sweet. Even in a place like the killing city that is full of sin and killing, the two of them together, at least in this space and room, are full of sweetness. Chapter 95. The Tiando royal family plans to assassinate the spirit horse and Chu Ye 3 days later. Under the suppression of Qian Renxue and Chu Ye's own sword of gods and demons, the light attribute, most of his murderous aura had been suppressed. Chu Ye took out the soul bombs that exploded after the crazy massacre that night, and then placed them in front of him, up to 7 pieces. 1 piece, 10,000 years. One piece is 3,000 years old, one piece is 2,000 years old, one piece is 1,000 years old, and there are 3 soul bones that are hundreds of years old. There are so many soul bones. Qian Renxue was very surprised. The killing city can only be entered but not left. Everyone who comes in with a soul bone will eventually die, and the soul bone will be taken away by others, and the person who takes the soul bone cannot leave. After being killed, the soul bone still exists in this killing city. The killing city is like a huge soul bone pool. Soul bones will continue to come in, but they can't go out. No matter how the soul bones are transferred and replaced, they are always in this pool. I think there must be a lot of soul bones taken away by the forces of the killing city, otherwise it would be estimated that there would be more. Chu Ye analyzed. Makes sense. Qian Renxue nodded. Next, Chu Ye had another goal, which was to kill people and explode their bones here. He knew that the force of the City of Slaughter should have collected more soul bones. But at the moment, he was not qualified to take their soul bones, but it was hard to say in the future. Chu Ye did not delay any longer and began to absorb these soul bones one by one. First, 3 soul bones of several hundred years, the phoenix was upgraded to 69,000 years. Next was the soul bone of 1,000 years. The phoenix was 70,000 years. Then, the soul bone of 2,000 years. The phoenix was 72,000 years. Then the soul bone of 3,000 years. The phoenix was 75,000 years. The last soul bone of 10,000 years. The phoenix was 85,000 years. With only the last 15,000 years, the phoenix's body bones could reach the level of 100,000 years. Even if it did not reach 100,000 years, as the age of the phoenix continued to increase, Chu Ye's physical strength, as well as various attributes, and confrontation were also enhanced, and the characteristics of the additional soul bones were given. His strength increased a few points. Unknowingly, 10 days later, Chu Ye's murderous aura had been completely suppressed. It was time for him to show up and play the game in the hell-killing field with Qian Renxue. Chu Ye disappeared for 13 days. During these 13 days, Chu Ye had already become famous in the killing city. It was because of the crazy massacre that night that he had become a celebrity in the killing city, a terrifying existence, and was given a new title, the Dark Demon Sword King. Chu Ye, let's go to the hell-killing field. Okay. The two held hands and appeared on the streets of the inner city, strolling towards the hell-killing field. Yes. Yes. Dark Demon Sword King. Ah. Run. On the way, most of the people who saw Chu Ye's appearance were scared and fled far away, not daring to get close. However, there were still some newcomers who knew nothing. Seeing Qian Renxue's stunning appearance, they wanted to come over and cause trouble, but they were all killed by Chu Ye. Dark Demon Sword King? Not bad, I like this title. Chu Ye smiled slightly. He was no longer no. 6,666 inches the killing city. From now on, he was called Dark Demon Sword King. Seeing those people who were extremely scared of him, Chu Ye nodded with satisfaction. That's good, so there won't be a group of guys who want to die every day to trouble me. Soon, the two stepped into the resistance killing field. Chu Ye, we have to register separately. We must wait until one of us starts before we can register. Otherwise, if we are in the same field, it will be a disaster. Chu Ye said with a smile. Then you go first and I go first. Ladies first. Okay. In this way, the two began their journey to resist the killing field, playing one game every day. 10 days later, Chu Ye had won 17 consecutive victories. Qian Renxue won 7 consecutive victories. And Chu Ye has been in the killing city for a whole month. On the other hand, the Tiando royal family has confirmed that the person who killed the third Prince Zutian was Chu Ye, the son of the Wihun Hall, but they have no evidence to confirm this. The Tiando Empire also knew that even if there was any evidence, they couldn't go to the Spirit Hall to ask for someone, because that was the holy son of the Spirit Hall. How could they give you a life for a life? It was probably just to show up most to punish Chu Ye. This was not the ending that the Tiando imperial family wanted at all. What they wanted was Chu Ye's death, and also to eliminate the threat of such a genius as the Spirit Hall. Report to your Majesty. After investigations in various places, Chu Ye did not return to the Spirit Hall, and it is very likely that he went to the Slaughter City. A subordinate knelt in front of Emperor Chu Ye. Oh? That kid actually ran to the Slaughter City. Hectares, it seems that he will die in there without us doing anything. Emperor Chu Ye said. At this time, the second Prince Douluo Dalu said, Father, I think this boy dares to step into the Slaughter City. He must have some means to get out of it. We must not be careless. As he spoke, he stood up and said, I think that no matter whether Chu Ye can come out of the slaughter city, we should send people there. If he really comes out alive, we can capture him. This is our best chance to kill Chu Ye. If he returns to the spirit hall, it may be difficult to find such a good opportunity. Makes sense. Emperor Chu Ye nodded and said to his smart second son, Luo Qian, in your opinion, how many more people should be sent to kill Chu Ye? Luo Qian said, Father, Chu Ye is a person of such status as the Holy Son of the Spirit Hall. I think that there should be people from the Spirit Hall to support him at the time, and it is very likely that there will be strong people at the titled Douluo level. I think that we should send 500 elite knights to the towns near the slaughter city to stand by as a backup force. Send about 10 soul masters whose soul power has reached the soul cent realm or above, preferably good at assassination, mainly speed prioritized agility attack soul masters, to assassinate him. Finally, I hope that this operation can be led by Douluo Dalu himself. Assassination? Emperor Chu Ye thought. Yes, if the Spirit Hall has troops to support it, and there are titled Douluo level strongmen, even if we ambush on the way, the titled Douluo will have the ability to take Chu Ye to kill at Bloody Road in the first place. After all, the titled Douluo will not be too far away from Chu Ye on the way. Assassination, choose the best time, the best location and environment, preferably in a town. We will have many opportunities, and before the titled Douluo rescues, we can assassinate him quietly and quickly, and then evacuate quickly. Very good, I'll leave this matter in Luo Qian to you. Yes, Father. The Tiando Empire did not dare to send people to kill the son of the Spirit Hall blatantly. With the least amount of manpower and the most elite personnel, even if the assassination failed, it was not the royal family who took action, but Douluo who led the Soul Masters to secretly kill Chu Ye. Chapter 96. 100 consecutive victories, the phoenixes evolved for 100,000 years. After all, Douluo and Chu Ye had a personal grudge. Letting Douluo go was also to prevent failure at the time. The Spirit Hall would put pressure on him and put the blame on Douluo's personal grudge. Soon, Douluo learned about this, and he agreed without hesitation to lead the team to kill Chu Ye. Hey, kid, you dared to bully my granddaughter like this at the time, even if you are the son of the Spirit Hall. Douluo's eyes flashed with murderous intent. On the other side, the killing city. No. 6,666 wins, winning 30 games in a row. No. 7,777 wins, winning 20 games in a row. No. 6,666 wins, winning 50 games in a row. No. 7,777 wins, winning 40 games in a row. In just 3 months, Chu Ye's winning streak in the Hell-Killing field has reached 50 games. The higher you go, the more difficult it is, and it is basically a 1-on-9 situation. Although it is very fast now, as the time is longer, the more murderous aura accumulates, Chu Ye is affected by the murderous aura faster and faster, and the murderous aura is becoming more and more difficult to suppress. He must gradually slow down the progress of the winning streak in the Hell-Killing field. Qian Renxue is the same. 1 year later. No. 6,666 wins, winning streak of 90 games. No. 7,777 wins, winning streak of 80 games. Oh my god. Dark Demon Sword King and Angel Walker won again. It's only been more than a year. They have already occupied the first and second places in the Hell-Killing field. If this continues, they may really complete 100 consecutive wins and bravely enter Hell. Chu Ye and Qian Renxue have undoubtedly become the most powerful existences in the Killing City, and countless fallen people are in awe and fear. Zhuye, can you still hold on? I'm fine. Chu Ye and Qian Renxue walked out of the resistance killing field side by side. How about taking a rest for a while? Chu Ye asked. Everything seemed to be going well, but in recent days, Qian Renxue was increasingly affected by the killing horror. Chu Ye heard her say that there seemed to be a voice in her mind from time to time. It's okay. We have been in the city of slaughter for 1 year and 3 months, but our soul power has not changed by 1 level. We should finish the game as soon as possible and get out as soon as possible. Qian Renxue shook her head and said. Another 3 months passed. No. 6,666 won, winning 99 games in a row. No. 7,777 won, winning 90 games in a row. On the stage, Chu Ye panted a little tiredly. It's the last game. I only need 1 game to complete 100 consecutive wins. Great King of Slaughter. The Dark Demon Sword King and the Angel Walker have both completed more than 90 consecutive wins. Don't we really do anything? The veiled woman knelt in front of the King of Slaughter. Back off. Don't mention this matter again in the future. The King of Slaughter sighed in his heart. What the hell? One is by Don's beloved disciple, and the other is a descendant of the six-winged angel lineage of the Spirit Hall. He is targeting them. If these two die here, he will be in trouble in the city of Slaughter. Okay. Seeing this, the veiled woman had no choice but to give up. A few days later, Chu Ye stood on the stage of the Hell Slaughter field again. The 100 match was going on. He stood in the center of the stage, and the other 9 people surrounded him and stood in a corner. It was obvious that this last match was another 1-on-9 duel, but Chu Ye had long been accustomed to it. Come on. Chu Ye was not afraid at all, holding the sword of gods and demons. The 9 people who were planning to join forces were afraid instead. They were too scared in their hearts, but they had to fight. Come on together. Killed him. In the last match, Chu Ye did not allow himself to have any accidents, so he directly turned on the Dark Letter form. Dark Letter. I'm the Knight. Chu Ye. Good guys, do you all have to shout as soon as I start the light and dark forms? His appearance changed again, turning into a demon, and terrifying black and red gases rose around him. Come together. The 9 people couldn't help swallowing their throats, but still bit their teeth and rushed over. Fearless charge. Brutal tear. Puff. Puff. Ah. Shadow burst. Puff. Ah. The extremely miserable screams resounded throughout the arena. In just 3 minutes, all 9 people were chopped into a bloody mess by Chu Ye and died tragically. Too scary. This is the Dark Demon Sword King. He is simply unstoppable. The fallen people around, even if they were just watching the game, were extremely afraid and terrified in their hearts. 66 wins, winning 100 games in a row. Amidst a noisy voice, Chu Ye retracted his strength and slowly walked off the stage. He cleaned the blood on his body and came to Qian Renxue's side. The next step is up to you. Don't worry. Qian Renxue stood up and walked towards the arena. Now Chu Ye has completed 100 consecutive victories. He no longer needs to compete. He only needs to wait for Qian Renxue to complete 100 games, and then join hands to cross the road of hell. Qian Renxue's winning streak continues to increase one by one. Chu Ye will watch every game. While waiting for Qian Renxue, he will continue to look for the target who holds the soul bone. After more than a year, the age of the Phoenix soul bone has reached 99,000 years. He only needs the last 1,000-year soul bone to reach the 100,000-year level. Finally, when Qian Renxue's winning streak reached 96 games, Chu Ye also found the fallen who holds the 1,000-year soul bone. Please don't kill me. Don't kill me. Dark Demon Sword King, let me go. The fallen begged for mercy while running. Chu Ye chased him relentlessly. Knowing that he couldn't escape, the fallen was ruthless and really cut off his arm with a weapon. Ah! He screamed, ignoring the pain, and madly fled. Chu Ye did not chase him anymore, and picked up the 1,000-year soul bone that fell from his arm. Very decisive. If the opponent had gone 1 second later, he might have already drawn his sword. 2,000 years of right arm bone, not bad. My Phoenix can finally be upgraded to the 100,000-year level. Chu Ye was a little excited, and his heart was surging. I wonder what changes will happen to the Phoenix after reaching 100,000 years. He immediately found Qian Renxue and asked Qian Renxue to protect him, and then he absorbed it. Let's get started, Chu Ye, I'm here. Okay. Chu Ye nodded and absorbed it decisively. The Phoenix finally exceeded 100,000 years at this moment, and the trunk bone appeared behind Chu Ye. His entire back felt like it was burning. A huge flaming bird, in the form of soul power condensation, was behind him. The soul bone began to change gradually, and he could feel that the energy of the Phoenix was getting stronger and stronger. At this time, the cold voice in his mind sounded again. The Phoenix trunk bone evolved to the 100,000-year level, all skill effects were upgraded, and the second soul skill was given. Alas, I wanted to skip the plot of the City of Slaughter as soon as possible, but I'm almost done writing 10 chapters and Chapter 97. Becoming a Dark Seraph, the road to hell begins. Phoenix passive effect. Rebirth from the ashes. When your status in all aspects is close to the limit, or when you suffer a critical hit, the effect is triggered. All status will be instantly restored to 60%, resisting the critical hit, and rebounding 60% of the energy to fight back against the enemy. Attacks below God level. Oh my god, the recovery effect has increased by 10%, and most importantly, a rebound effect has been improved. Chu Ye was a little surprised. This is equivalent to blocking the opponent's power and being able to use the opponent's power to fight back. Active Soulbone skill. Phoenix Fire, a group restriction skill, surrounds the enemy in a circle of fire. The flames will speed up the consumption of the enemy's soul and physical strength, and there will be continuous flames attacking the enemy in the circle of fire. With the addition of a flame attack effect, this move is becoming more and more like a domain skill. Chu Ye nodded and continued to listen. New Soulbone skill 2. Phoenix, a single target locking attack soul skill that releases the phoenix's body and locks on the enemy. Single target locking skill, this move is not inferior to all my moves at all. Not bad, the 100,000 year level is indeed different. Chu Ye nodded with satisfaction. How about it? Qian Renxue stared with big eyes, like a curious baby. Chu Ye then told Qian Renxue about the attribute upgrades and skills in all aspects. She was very happy to hear it. Very powerful, Chu Ye, you are getting stronger and stronger now. I'm afraid you can fight against Title Duo alone. After getting the Killing God domain, it should be almost the same, but it is still very difficult. I can only say the Title Duo is basically invincible. Chu Ye smiled and thought to himself. After returning, I will practice with Snakespear Duo. I still have 4 games to go before we can leave the Killing City. Don't worry, your murderous aura is getting harder and harder to stabilize. It's time now. Don't seek speed, but seek stability. Got it soon. Qian Renxue won 97 consecutive victories, 98 consecutive victories, and 99 consecutive victories. Finally, it came to the last 100 games. But Chu Ye became more and more worried, because the murderous aura had begun to obviously affect Qian Renxue, and the voice of the dark side in her mind became stronger and stronger. At this moment, Qian Renxue was already standing on the stage of the 100 game. Her opponent was much weaker than Chu Ye, but he was also an opponent of 100 games. In addition, it was also a 1-on-9 situation, so Qian Renxue would have a hard time in this battle. Share the power. Qian Renxue used the power of the life and death contract at the beginning. With half of Chu Ye's attributes, her combat power instantly rose. She started a fierce fight with 9 people. 10 minutes later, there were only 2 people left on the field, Qian Renxue and a person holding a meteor hammer. Qian Renxue panted slightly, and there were several wounds on her body. She was a little weak. But the opponent was almost at the limit. Ah! I'm going to kill you. You, the descendant of the 6-winged angel family. The opponent smashed the meteor hammer hard. Just you. Qian Renxue's eyes suddenly turned blood red. This is a common red-eye disease in the City of Slaughter. It's not a disease, but it's the reaction of being affected by murderous aura, which makes people full of murderous reactions, which is on the verge of losing control. Qian Renxue had been suppressing her murderous aura, and this had never happened before. Chu Ye frowned slightly when he saw this, but the next second, his face changed drastically. Not good. He saw the angel wings of the 6-winged angel spirit behind Qian Renxue, which were gradually turning black and being gradually swallowed by the darkness. Swear. Chu Ye immediately stood up and shouted urgently. Stay awake. Swear. Don't be affected by the murderous aura. Restrain it. Suppress it. Chu Ye. Hearing Chu Ye's anxious shout, Qian Renxue's red eyes disappeared instantly, and the angel wings regained light again. Her eyes also regained absolute purity, and she stabbed the opponent's chest with a sword. Puff. Looking at the enemy whose heart was pierced by her, Qian Renxue pressed her palm on his forehead, and with a push, the opponent fell to the ground. Chu Ye breathed a sigh of relief, but his face was still solemn. Damn it, the murderous aura really strengthened the dark attribute of Qian Renxue's martial soul. We can't stay in this place any longer, we must leave as soon as possible. At this time, a terrifying murderous aura suddenly attacked, and the red gas gathered in the air, and the King of Killing came. He spread out his huge bat wings, and the breath that made countless people feel afraid filled the entire hell-killing field. His voice slowly sounded. Congratulations, young angel walker. King of Killing. King of Killing. King of Killing. The fallen in the spectator seats cheered the name of the King of Killing excitedly. Qian Renxue retracted her power and stared at the man in the sky with a sharp gaze. He is the King of Slaughter, the ruler of the Slaughter City. As Chu Ye said, he is at least a titled low-level warrior, and even as powerful as the elder of the worship, right? Please welcome the Dark Demon Sword King. Chu Ye appeared quickly and stood beside Qian Renxue. The two looked at each other, accompanying each other without fear. Today, another strong man was born in the slaughter field. Their powerful strength and terrifying murderous aura make you tremble, right? The hoarse voice of the King of Slaughter echoed. Yes. Yes. The fallen who were watching in the spectator seats waved their fists excitedly, and kept repeating the response, yes. Dark Demon Sword King, Angel Walker. I have decided to make an exception and grant you the title of God of Killing, and to hire you as guest officials, second only to me. From now on, you can freely enter and leave the city of slaughter. Chu Ye smiled in his heart. It's really a familiar line, a familiar routine. Ha ha, sorry, King of Slaughter, we are not interested in the identity of guest officials, and we will not come to the city of slaughter for nothing. We appreciate your kindness, please start the road to hell for us. Chu Ye said with a smile. Are you kidding? The title of God of Killing is useless. So what if you can freely enter and leave the city of slaughter, and your status is second only to the King of Slaughter? They are the sons of the Spirit Hall and the young masters. Why don't they go to such a dark place to be the second in command? Only when you get the field of God of Killing can it be truly useful. Qian Renxue echoed, yes, please start the hell road for us. We're willing to rely on our own strength to become the real God of Killing. I'm afraid you don't know how terrifying the hell road is, we know. King of Killing, please stop talking and start it quickly. The King of Killing was interrupted by Chu Ye and Qian Renxue before he was halfway through. The King of Killing. ... Well, in that case, it will be a good trip to accompany each other on the hell road. The King of Killing was a little unhappy, but he didn't break the rules. Chapter 98. Roughly tearing Qian Renxue's stockings, the King of Slaughter chose to open the hell road for Chu Ye and Qian Renxue. Now I will open the entrance of the hell road for them. Hell road. Hell road. Hell road. The fallen ones around were completely boiling with excitement, cheering excitedly. Except for the God of Slaughter, no one has ever seen the opening of the hell road. That's why they're so excited, but what these fallen ones don't know is that those who have seen the opening of the hell road are actually dead. These little fools don't know that they're about to become Chu Ye and Qian Renxue's sacrifice to open the door of the hell road. Who? The King of Slaughter soared into the air, and a terrifying red evil spirit suddenly emanated from his body. These evil spirits were frantically slaughtering the fallen ones, devouring and absorbing the flesh, energy, and murderous aura of the fallen ones. What's going on, King of Slaughter? Why are you trying to kill us? Run, run. No. No. King of Slaughter. Ah! The originally excited shouts began to turn into a series of screams, and the fallen around them began to die quickly. Their energy, blood, and murderous aura were all sucked into the disc on the stage. It is their honor to be the sacrifice to open the hell road. A strong red light began to flash on the stage of the hell-killing field. Soon, the disc on the ground disappeared, and a huge corridor appeared below. Good luck to you, Dark Demon Sword King, Angel Walker. Countless murderous auras surrounded them, as if there were many ghost hands, pulling Chu Ye and Qian Renxue into it. When they regained their sight, Chu Ye and Qian Renxue had already arrived at the hell road. The murderous aura here is even greater than above. Is this the hell road? It should be. The two looked around the surrounding environment, as if they were in a huge cave. There are ancient buildings and many stone bridges connected together. Each road is very narrow, and can only accommodate two people standing side by side. Under these stone bridges is the source of the energy at the killing city, which is boiling and hot like magma. If you fall down, you'll definitely die. The longer we stay here, the more likely we will be affected by the murderous aura. There is no time to lose. Chu Ye, move forward quickly. Yes. The two looked at each other and ran forward. Squeaky. Soon, a lot of squeaks came from the front. What's the sound? It's a blood bat, a bat that has been affected by the murderous aura and mutated. They are afraid of the light attribute. Chu Ye directly activates the six-winged angel martial spirit. Good. The martial spirit is possessed. Soon, a large group of red bats came together, with more than 100 of them. Although they are weak, they are very fast and numerous, and should not be underestimated. However, they are very afraid of the divine light and light attribute emitted by Qian Renxue. But their greed has exceeded their fear, and they suddenly attack collectively. Be careful. Divine light sword rain. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Bang, bang, bang. Countless lightsabers fell, killing a group of them in an instant, and completely disrupting them. Most of them fled, and a few were killed by Chu Ye and Qian Renxue's swords. The first sword of the Angel's 6 divine swordsmanship, the light attribute emitted by the divine light sword rain, actually scared away the group of bloodbats directly. Chu Ye, as you said, they are very afraid of the light attribute. The light attribute can suppress all dark and evil attributes. This group of bloodbats naturally belongs to this category. Let's keep moving forward. The real problem is still waiting for us behind. The two ran again. Chu Ye knew that the bloodbats were only the first difficulty. After that, they had to face a 3-headed Bat King and the most powerful 10-headed scorching sun snake. Sure enough, after the two moved forward for a distance, the 3-headed Bat King appeared. Zia. Its body was very large. After discovering Chu Ye and Qian Renxue, it immediately launched an attack. Swear. Go. Wings of the Dragon God. Whoosh. Whoosh. The two flapped their wings at the same time and flew towards the 3-headed Bat King. If they had the biggest advantage in this hell road, it was that they could fly. Swear. You hold it back. I'll kill it in seconds. Okay. The two had a clear division of labor, one to attract and hold it back, and the other to find an opportunity to attack. Ding. Ding ding. Qian Renxue was in the air, slashing the 3-headed Bat King continuously to attract hatred, and then immediately pulled away to attract her to chase him. Chu Ye, do it. Got it. Qian Renxue flew towards Chu Ye with the 3-headed Bat King, and Chu Ye's mouth corners slightly raised. Look at me, the 6 divine swordsmanship of angels, the second sword, the divine light breaks the air and cuts. Go to hell. Qian Renxue suddenly made a sharp turn, and Chu Ye followed with a lightsaber. Bang. Killed on the spot. Beautiful, Chu Ye. Ha ha, good cooperation this time, swear. Of course the two retracted their wings and landed at the same time, clapping their hands. Keep going. Yeah. The two of them fought their way through all the obstacles and were about to approach the exit of the Hell Road. But as they continued to move forward, the temperature around them became hotter and hotter, and both of them were sweating. This high temperature was not the heat they were looking for, it would accelerate the loss of the Soul Master's physical strength. It's too hot, Chu Ye. Qian Renxue panted a little. Take off your coat quickly. Chu Ye took off Qian Renxue's coat, and then squatted in front of her. And your stockings, why are you wearing these stockings that don't dissipate heat? Don't wear them. Tear, Chu Ye said, and directly tore Qian Renxue's stockings, tearing them clean, and showing her white thighs in front of him. Chu Ye, you don't be so rude. How can you tear a girl's stockings like this? Qian Renxue said a little shyly. It's necessary to be rude. We're in a hurry. If you take off your stockings with shoes on, you have to take off your shoes first. I might as well tear them up. Chu Ye threw away Qian Renxue's torn stockings and stood up, then took her hand and continued to move forward. We are not far from the exit, hold on, swear. Yeah. The two of them turned on the flight mode directly, because the ground was getting closer and closer to the magma, and it would not be so hot at high altitudes. Chu Ye, the magma is churning. It's the 10-headed fiery sun snake, it's coming. Poof. The next second, a huge one rushed out. It was dark red all over, huge in size, and its body was at least more than 10 meters long. There were 9 protrusions on its head and back that looked like bright red mushrooms, and blood seemed to be flowing inside. It roared, and its cry sounded like a baby crying, which was very strange. This is the 10-headed fiery sun snake. It is not a soul beast, but an alien species from the ancient times of the prehistoric times, an alien beast. Swear, be careful, this 10-headed fiery sun snake is much more powerful than the 3-headed Bat King just now. Roar. Go. The two flapped their wings at the same time and killed with one sword. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 99. Kill the 10-headed fiery sun snake and get out of hell. Ding 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 ding. Bang. Boom. The two of them immediately tangled with the 10-headed fiery sun snake, constantly slashing at it with their swords. With the advantage of being able to fly, Chu Ye and Qian Renxue already had the biggest advantage in this kind of terrain. Ha! Ding! What, my sword? Qian Renxue slashed at the 10-headed fiery sun snake again, but her sword broke under this blow. This made her very distressed, but also very surprised. Chu Ye, its skin is too thick. Even with my intermediate sword intent, I can't pierce it, let alone my sword. Chu Ye saw Qian Renxue's distress. Although he knew that Qian Renxue's sword was not a top-grade weapon, but a high-quality weapon forged by an iron master, it was given to her by Qian Dalu. She has been using it since she was 6 years old, so she must be very attached to it. No matter how good a weapon is, as long as it is immortal, it will eventually break. Chu Ye, it's time for you to change your sword. After we go back, I will make one for you. Chu Ye said, and stabbed the back of the 10-headed fiery sun snake again. The level of blacksmiths is also very diverse, divided into 7 levels: elementary, intermediate, advanced, master blacksmith, master blacksmith, master blacksmith, and divine craftsman. Chu Ye has actually studied forging and is quite creative. Although he has not taken the exam for the Blacksmith Association, according to the evaluation of the blacksmiths in the Pope's palace, he is at least close to the level of a master blacksmith. In the killing city where soul skills cannot be used, Qian Renxue has lost her weapon and can no longer pose any threat to the 10-headed fiery sun snake, a strange beast with extremely strong defensa. Chu Ye plans to kill it alone. Chu Ye, find a place to have a good rest, and leave the rest to me. Wait. Chu Ye, what are you going to do? Dark Demon Evil God Tiger Head Soul Bone Skill. Evil God Space. Chu Ye's body suddenly released a black space vortex, which was rapidly expanding, and eventually pulled him and the 10-headed fiery sun snake into it at the same time. Chu Ye. Qian Renxue was a little worried. Don't worry, I will kill him soon and then come out. Chu Ye's voice finally echoed in Qian Renxue's ears. The next second, he had entered the Evil God Space. The Evil God Space is the reversal space of the Dark Demon Evil God Tiger. The effect is different, but the scene is the same, on a huge life and death stage. You are lucky, because you're the first to enter my Evil God Space, and you will also be the first to die in the Evil God Space. Chu Ye's face was indifferent, and the phoenix behind him had already emerged. Phoenix Fire. The phoenix soared into the sky and instantly hit the ground. The flames spread instantly, forming a large circle of fire. Secret belief. I'm the night. Chu Ye's appearance gradually changed, and he decisively activated the Dark Later form, because he wanted to make a quick decision. Come on, 10-headed fiery sun snake, let's see if the sword in my hand can chop your body into pieces. Chu Ye exuded a strong murderous and demonic aura. In the Evil God Space, his dark attribute will be amplified, which will be his strongest state. Hiss. The 10-headed fiery sun snake roared, and then swam wildly to attack. The surrounding fire circle began to spray fireballs to attack it, which distracted the attention of the 10-headed fiery sun snake and affected its actions. Fearless charge. Chu Ye swayed his arms and body, and rushed up in the next second, stabbing the 10-headed fiery sun snake's body with a sword. Broken. Since the skin can no longer resist my sword, then your death is coming. Ha! Roar. The 10-headed fiery sun snake roared in pain. Chu Ye's sword stabbed into its body, and it ran quickly. The sword in its body was cut rapidly as it ran. It opened its huge mouth in great pain and bit. Furious blade. Hush. Bang. Roar. The 10-headed fiery sun snake was hit hard on the head, and a lot of blood flowed out of the snake's head. Chu Ye seized the opportunity and jumped onto the snake's head. Brutal tear. Puff. Roar. Chu Ye tore the head of the 10-headed fiery sun snake with a sword, shouting, "Go to hell." Puff. The sword of gods and demons instantly pierced through the brain of the 10-headed fiery sun snake, and a lot of blood splashed all over its body. It died completely. It's over. Chu Ye slowly retracted his strength. He was not in a hurry to get out. His arm was directly stuffed into the snake's brain. I don't know what he was taking out. Soon he took out a golden round bead and smiled slightly. The 10-headed fiery sun snake is known as the head of all snakes. Its inner elixir can make any snake venom ineffective and restrain any snake. It is a good treasure. Chu Ye put it into the space soul guide and then unlocked the Evil God Space. Let's go, Chu Ye. Yes. Chu Ye took Qian Renxue's hand, and the two of them flew over the last section of the road at the same time. Did you see it? Yes. It's the exit. Let's fly out together. Okay. The two smiled at each other. Finally, we're leaving here. Goodbye, City of Slaughter. Chu Ye and Qian Renxue took a last look at this bloody, evil and dirty world, and rushed out of the road to hell together. In an instant, Chu Ye seemed to have entered an empty space, and his body seemed unable to move. He only felt countless cold murderous auras gathering around his body. Those murderous auras began to condense into a force. When this force condensed successfully, the killing god domain was also formed. Chu Ye opened his eyes first and released the sword of gods and demons. He found that there were special patterns on the sword body that represented the killing god domain. He waved the sword casually, and it was a terrifying colorless murderous energy. This is the killing god domain, a good power. Chu Ye felt the domain power he had just obtained and nodded with satisfaction. The killing god domain, in addition to allowing the user to exert 110% of the attribute effect and weaken the enemy by 10%, this domain will actually become stronger as the soul master grows. Now it is only the most basic killing god domain, but it also gives a domain skill. Killing assault. After locking a target, the speed is increased by 100% and the attack power is increased by 30%. This increase is effective for any attack, including soul skills. In other words, Chu Ye's attack soul skills, combined with the killing assault, will be even more terrifying. He retracted his power and glanced at Qian Renxue. She seemed to be still condensing the killing god domain. Seeing this, Chu Ye sat quietly by the side to guard and wait for her to condense the killing god domain. After a while, Qian Renxue also woke up and successfully condensed the killing god domain. Chu Ye asked with concern, "How is it, Zhuye, after condensing the killing god domain, is there any discomfort in your body?" "Everything is normal, don't worry, Chu Ye." Qian Renxue smiled, and her reaction was normal, but the darkness in the six-winged angel was growing rapidly. Chu Ye didn't notice this and said, "That's good, let's go back to Ihun City." Chapter 100. Darkness is born from light. Dark Qian Renxue appears. Chu Ye walked in front holding Qian Renxue's hand, and Qian Renxue was held behind. But after a few steps, Chu Ye suddenly felt Qian Renxue's hand becoming colder and colder. Just when he felt something was wrong and wanted to turn back to check, Qian Renxue's unusual voice came from behind. "Chu Ye, don't be in a hurry to leave. We have been in the killing city, a depressing place for so long. Why don't we stay here first and indulge ourselves, just you and me, the two of us are here." Chu Ye's face changed drastically, and his mood sank to the bottom in an instant. Because he knew Qian Renxue, she would never say such words. There is no need to use such a charming and seductive tone. "Who are you?" Chu Ye turned around abruptly and looked at the charming and seductive Qian Renxue in front of him. "I am Qian Renxue, no. You are no longer the Qian Renxue I know." Chu Ye's eyes gradually became cold. "Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha." Qian Renxue suddenly started laughing. A strong dark breath emanated from her, and a pair of wings grew out from her back, but they were not golden angel wings, but dark six-winged angel wings full of darkness. Her golden hair turned grey, and the golden dress on her body turned black. She is Dark Qian Renxue. The dark attribute of the six-winged angel spirit will form the dark side through the darkness in the human heart. Dark six-winged angel Qian Renxue. I had expected that the murderous aura and the killing god domain would have some impact on Qian Renxue, but I didn't expect it to be so serious. Chu Ye subconsciously took 2 steps back. He originally thought that at most, when Qian Renxue was in the 7th test of the angel, the strength of Dark Qian Renxue would be enhanced, but he didn't expect it to come out now. "Why don't you like me more like this, Chu Ye?" Qian Renxue said charmingly, approaching Chu Ye step by step. Chu Ye instantly raised the sword of gods and demons, pointed at the Dark Qian Renxue in front of him, and said coldly, disappeared from her body. "Aha, you dare to stab me with the sword in your hand, do you dare?" Chu Ye. Dark Qian Renxue smiled charmingly, not afraid at all, and was still approaching step by step. At this moment, Dark Qian Renxue suddenly became very painful, and she hugged her head tightly. "Disappeared from my body." Qian Renxue's voice rang in Dark Qian Renxue's ears. Dark Qian Renxue began to suffer intensely. The dark clothes, grey-white long hair, and the angel wings behind her were gradually regaining light and turning golden. Qian Renxue was gradually regaining control of her body. Soon, the darkness was completely suppressed by the light, and Qian Renxue regained control of her body. "Chu Ye, it's me." But the next second, the golden Qian Renxue disappeared instantly, and the dark Qian Renxue reappeared. She repeated Qian Renxue's words with a charming face. "Chu Ye, it's me." Dark Qian Renxue wanted to reach out and touch Chu Ye's cheek. "Get out. Don't touch him." Qian Renxue and Dark Qian Renxue began to fight for the body. She was bright from time to time, and was occupied by darkness from time to time, switching back and forth several times. Qian Renxue screamed, "Damn it! Get out of here!" His darkness was born from light. I've been looking forward to this moment, and we finally meet. This day came sooner than I thought. I never thought that you would go to such a place full of killing, and gain such a strong murderous power. What a pity, today you will sleep forever in the darkness. Come on, fall into darkness with me, we will become the strongest in the world. The voice of the Dark Qian Renxue kept echoing in Qian Renxue's ears. Seeing that Qian Renxue's light attribute energy was getting weaker and weaker, Chu Ye could no longer sit and wait for death. He suddenly thought of a way, maybe he could give it a try. Guangxin. I'm the sun. Chu Ye decisively activated the Guangxin form, Guangxin, possessing the most extreme light attribute in the world. He slowly raised the sword of light, gathered all his soul power on it, and emitted a strong golden light through the sword to wipe out the darkness. Sword of light, emit your strongest light attribute and wipe out the darkness in Chu Ye's body. At this moment, the strong golden light completely enveloped the two of them. The light of the sword of light and the energy of light began to burn Dark Qian Renxue. Ah! Dark Qian Renxue screamed in pain. Then, she was gradually wiped out by the sword of light. Dark Qian Renxue said to Qian Renxue unwillingly, "We will meet again." The darkness completely disappeared, and Qian Renxue completely regained her body, but for a moment she seemed to be powerless and was about to fall to the ground. Chu Ye hurried forward and hugged her in his arms, with a distressed face, but also relieved. Swear. Qian Renxue lay in Chu Ye's arms with a pale and weak look. Chu Ye, thank you. If it weren't for you, I might have been killed by her. Chu Ye sighed in his heart. In the city of slaughter, you also pulled me back from the darkness. This time, we're even. It's just that I didn't expect the killing god domain to allow your dark side to reach this level. I'm worried about you when you inherit the Angel 9 trials in the future. Now he can suppress Dark Qian Renxue through the light attribute of the light letter form, but when Qian Renxue takes the Angel 7th trial and draws the Angel Holy Sword, at the time, the Dark 6-winged Angel, Dark Qian Renxue, will appear as an independent individual with dark energy. At the time, the Dark Qian Renxue might become even stronger because of the Killing God domain, and at the time, Qian Renxue could only rely on herself. If she failed, she would completely fall into darkness. So, Chu Ye is very worried now. Chu Ye, if I can really inherit the 9 tests of the angel, will I really fight her in the 7th test when I draw the angel sword? Qian Renxue looked at the man holding her. Yes. Chu Ye said a word firmly. Qian Renxue's expression also became serious and firm. Then don't worry about me, I will definitely wipe her out completely at the time. Believe me. After saying that, Qian Renxue forced a smile on her face. Chu Ye knew that she just didn't want to make him worry. Well, I believe you. Chu Ye said so, but this hidden danger has taken root in his heart. He instructed. Swear, from now on, don't use the Killing God domain unless it is absolutely necessary, so as to avoid another accident. Well, I understand. Qian Renxue nodded. Okay, let's go back to the Pope's palace. Yeah, the exit of the road to hell is in a big mountain. The two of them walked down the mountain along the road. They suppressed what had just happened in their hearts, and their mood gradually improved a lot. After all, things had come to this, and they couldn't keep worrying about it. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.